sound off. So we got Doug,
Yeah.
Adam,
Yep.
Max, Sean,
Yes.
and Ted.
Yo, I found it.
Okay.
Absolutely way too
You
late.
found him.
I know that feel where it's like I can't stop until I find it. Look, I'll pin this for the moment just in case. out of respect for your valor. Okay. Who can try to give me a recap of what happened last time? Because of the additional difficulty, if two of you tag team, you can each take a +1 home. If one of you just takes it to the dome and is like, I got this, you could take a +2 because it's been a while.
I took notes, or I can trade with someone. Trade off with someone.
Look, this is a team effort is acceptable here.
I gotta pull up my notes.
And don't forget,
so I
I
was
know I'm
telling
holding I'm holding a hold 2 on you, Ted.
Yeah, it should be 3 unless you already used one.
Oh shit, it is a 3. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I said something.
So I was telling my Tuesday crew that I take notes for tape pursuit in a journal with not a mechanical pencil, just a regular pencil,
Mhm.
and I do that as a character decision. And I realized that I had no reason struggling on Tuesday to use a regular pencil when I own mechanical pencils. And I realized for this game, I have no reason to use pencil and paper when I have a fucking tablet.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Where are my notes? That's the wrong file.
We did start with a little bit of downtime where we all went to a party at Omaros's house.
Mhm.
But we mostly kind of clicked into everyday life for a little while until Awkward had a vision that was at first a vision about his twin brother on Christmas morning in his dad's clothes. And
Dreams are weird.
then
Yeah.
and then we had and then he had a dream about being a siren singer on an island and bringing like followers to him. Then there was a view of being one of those followers, and some of the chanting and singing. We all met up for coffee and tried to reason out what the vision could mean, and ended up going to the woods with a drone to look for anything that kind of clicked with that vision at all. Found a lot of campers. Well, we saw there were a lot of campers that we have concluded were all sort of likely connected to this weird hypnosis thing that we witnessed a couple of people suffering from, where they're being asked to destroy personal information about people. I forgot to mention that I'd seen notes on the internet about a person who has gone missing, and then that person has slowly been erased from reality, as has been the subjects of and Awkward, some of the subjects of this enchantment and information destruction.
Additionally, the notes that you recovered that you were looking through. Hang on.
I was gonna say, it felt like as we were going through the paperwork that we did find from the one person, as compared to the one guy we went to who had finished burning, it feels like they are not, in fact, just burning like papers and their clothes and stuff. They are burning memories and themselves. Because the one guy that actually finished burning everything, There was nothing left to him.
Mhm.
And the briefcase full of notes that you found, you can't find the name anymore. But you
Except for Harlow.
yeah, Harlow can see the name. Everybody else cannot.
We
It
just see
is
the girl.
right, and it is an incredibly obsessively rigorously autobiographical text of this person's life. The pages are very clearly out of order. They've been haphazardly shoved into this bag. And it's impossible to know, right, like how much have been burned already. Sorry. That was a quick interruption. Continue.
Sorry, I was muted. Um, uh, from there, we kind of got a little stuck trying to figure out what to do next. I think that's basically where we are with as far as factual information goes. We don't have a plan.
So
We just have this is just the evidence we have right now.
the two most recent pieces of information, or really the two things that happened. The person that you interrupted was a smaller lady. And when you touched her, the song began, which is what has caused Awkward to forget that Awkward had any name besides Awkward. I think most of you either resisted or Awkward was also ensorcelled for a second and tried to shoot with a nail gun, and used some jinxes against people.
They sure did.
Amoros banished this person, or rather cast out. I say banish because it's just D&D parlance, but cast out this thing and it disappeared. The next one that you found was a taller, fit-looking man in like workout
Tracksuit.
clothing. What was that?
I said in a tracksuit.
Yep. And he was the one that you sort of led along with you. Got him in the car. Were driving him, and then I believe that Harlow tried a working on him, some kind of spellcraft. It was successful. Um, he faded out of existence, but before doing that, the some kind of awareness came back into his previously completely empty sort of eyes and visage, and he said something to the effect of, "Now who did that?" He, however, has
I thought
disappeared.
he didn't say that. We heard a feminine voice.
Right,
Say that.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
you heard a feminine voice say, "Now who did that?" Uh, you are in the car driving back towards the city. At least that's where we stopped things. That's where we put a button on things.
There was one other thing, which was that Awkward attempted to look into the man and ended up kind of passing out and finding himself in a strange dining area, sitting in the middle of a long, like, banquet table. There was somebody to his left in a fancy suit that looked like him, and then somebody to the right that he couldn't really make out any features of, and the one on the right tried to do something to him, and the one on the left said, "No, no, no, this one's mine," and then made Awkward go to sleep, and Awkward passed out.
Yep. Thank you.
So there's a couple somethings at play.
And Awkward, when you wake up, you will recognize well who the not who the figure that was trying to do something to you, but you know who the one who wore your clothing.
Yeah.
You've talked to him at least once before. Okay, so yeah, Awkward is still currently sleeping in the back. This man has completely evaporated from the seat next to Harlow. You're in the process of driving. It is still only about 2 p.m. You guys started relatively early in the morning once you all gathered together.
I thought at some point I had woken up and we were like in a room of some sort.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're still currently, I believe, in the process of driving back into town.
Okay.
So yeah, Harlow, a man
Oh, no.
just disappeared from kind of under your hands. All of you heard a voice talk in the car.
Sorry, yeah, Awkward passed out when we were on our way to the car, not in the car. Because
Got
as
it,
soon as
okay.
we left the woods, Awkward woke up. The man seems aware of.
Oh, yes. Awkward, you are awake now.
Heck.
Yeah, you cleared the edge of the woods, and Awkward woke up. You guys are just about back in town when all of this happened. The guy that was sitting there is gone. What does everybody do?
Okay, well, I guess there's no point taking trying to get us to a hospital or a doctor or something because our patient, our would-be patient, he's gone. Maybe maybe we find somewhere else. We go find somewhere else. Have a nice sit down. We regroup.
That sounds like a plan.
Well,
Okay.
your place or mine, Omeros?
Why don't we go to your place?
Gonna say, which direction are the woods again?
North.
North. Okay.
So to go back in, you're going south, which means you are gonna kind of end up swinging by where your house and storage unit is, Cam. Because you and Awkward are way to the north of
Yeah.
everyone else.
We can go by my place. It's unpacked finally, mostly.
Wonderful.
Or we can just keep going. It's all up to you.
Oh, Cam's place for sure.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Change my GPS and off we go.
Yeah, the camera swipes as we smash cut to Cam working the key in the door.
Working the key in the multiple
Yeah.
deadbolts.
It's
in
a
the
process. Just click, click, chunk, chunk, click, chunk. One big thud.
Cam's apartment is it's like neat and it's clean. It's very kind of Spartan, but there is like not a coffee table, a breakfast table with a cup
Yeah.
with four chairs. There's a couch and a TV that's, probably like an old,
Yeah.
40-inch CRT that sticks out from the wall like by
As you
2
slowly
feet.
describe like bachelor living, where it's like there's a nice stand that you found. There's like one couch.
Some of it is also stuff that he's clearly just been taking from assignment
Uh-huh.
to assignment, and it's like, well, I mean, I could get a new TV, but this one works. Yeah, but they make thin screens. Like, yeah, but this works. Come on in. I still have some in the fridge here. I got some condiments. I can order something if anybody's hungry.
I'll take a mustard.
Omeros? No.
I'm over here reeling in psychic shock from plainly.
If you're, honey, if you're in the mood for something that tastes like mustard, let's get some food that you can put that on.
All right. It's just spice is nice.
I understand. Spice is nice. It's the spice of life.
Okay, what I'll get some food ordered. What did we learn here? There was 11 of those fires on the in the woods that we saw that Awkward saw with that drone, which means there's 11 people out there burning themselves away. I mean, I know all of them ain't doing stuff. Awkward, you said the one, and I will make the gibberish noise that we hear whenever Harlow says the name. I know you said that one was waiting. So we know at least not all of them were actively burning, but what stands to benefit from folks burning themselves away like that? If it's powerful enough to control them and make them do that in the first place, then why does it need them burned out? Maybe you think maybe they're putting somebody back in, putting somebody else back in. I mean,
The bodies are disappearing, though, right?
well, that's hard to say. I mean, that one disappeared because we took him out of the woods and we did some magic and stuff, right? I mean, we don't know. He may not have disappeared had we not done that.
I don't know. I
he'd
mean,
be an empty shell. He was already an empty shell, but the body may not have disappeared.
right, but we're still missing Dominic, and now
Oh,
this Bonnie Mathis. Yeah. I think that it is the case that once the information is destroyed, the people are gone too. I don't think that they're leaving vessels behind.
But why then? I mean,
Are they being fed to something, do you think, through the fire?
Sacrifice of some sort. Could be very rare memory eaters. Right? They eat on the potential of a life. There's actually a funny show about that. They used statues or something.
well, I mean,
Doctor what?
I don't know.
I do have the address for the roommate of that first name you got, Harlow, and that I mean, I know the roommate don't remember that he existed, but his stuff's probably still there, right? If we hurry, we might be able to get to that before the roommate decides to throw out all the weird stuff that showed up in their place.
I think that's the best lead we've got.
All right, well, we're going to have to wait about 30 minutes because pizza's on its way.
Excellent.
Yeah, you also have the suitcase full of these papers.
Oh, yeah.
You did some cursory investigation in the car, but no real rolls were made for them.
Let's spread it out. See it from a higher point of view.
We should also try putting it in order as best we can.
As for order, I like this. So let's do everybody will give me a sharp roll, and we'll take whatever the aggregate is, based off of everybody who wants to contribute.
Failures give XP?
Nope.
You son of a bitch.
I love how you called your shot.
It doesn't count because he called it.
Yeah.
It's
Can I not
just a
just
sharp
roll
roll?
to help someone?
You can, yeah.
Okay, given that I have...
Yep.
So since Harlow hasn't rolled yet, this will be an assist for Harlow. Help out.
Woo!
Okay, that'll be
There
a
you go,
plus
+2.
two.
Okay, and I also have a plus because of recap.
Yep. Well, you can use it whenever. It doesn't.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a +1 forward. It's a as you like.
Oh my God.
Okay. Oh,
Can you
okay.
imagine +1
Well-
forward?
Okay, 14.
Taking it
That
pretty well.
helps. Yeah, that drags the average up.
Okay.
14 plus 11 plus 8 plus 3.
Leave out the
plus
11
7.
because that's my help out roll.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it's only divided by 4. So 14.
22, 32 divided by 4 is like an 8.
Yeah, you're good. I divided it by 5, and that's why I was like, it was like 6.7. I was like, no way. I mean, you've got to round that up. But yeah, 8 is fine. You get, as you assemble together, the pizza comes, I think with an 8, with the decision I'll put before you is you can spend more time to get this down, or you can do as quick as you can in the next 30 minutes before the pizza gets here, and take what you get. That's kind of a group decision.
I think we're fine with moving with some speed.
Okay.
Za,
So-
bro, trying to get the za.
Yeah, what this will mean is that the result will be anybody who wants to do an investigative mystery will do so with a -1. Because you've put it together enough to actually do something with it, whereas before there was just no way, right? You're just picking up a random piece of paper and being like, I hope this is important. So anybody who wants to throw in an investigative mystery on it, you can do so, and you'll do it with only a -1.
Can I
Okay.
help out again?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll
Heck
give
yes.
that a shot.
I will continue to help Harlow.
Yay.
Well, fuck. Awkward just sent it.
Ayo.
Awkward did, so that's another +2 for Harlow.
I'll try to help.
Deb, are you giving it a shot?
Hunter move.
I am going to
Oh.
give it a shot.
Okay, so Amaros can help Deb.
Hell yeah. Did you say we all get a +1 on this?
You all get a -1 technically.
Oh, okay.
So I'm keeping
So I-
track of the number.
Okay, so I put -1 on the help out roll,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Hey, a 10.
Oh, should
Yeah,
we have
the
had -1 to the help out or only to
No,
the
not-
investigative mystery?
Sorry, actually, yeah, not for the help out.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Then it's 11.
'Cause
But
your
I'll take
help
that.
just takes a different form.
Okay.
So that's a help out for Deb. So Deb, you are queued up to roll flat, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll give you the +1. Excellent.
Yeah. And Cam, yeah, so the net result.
Okay,
Okay.
we take
yeah.
a 7. We take 7s.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna take we'll take one question from you. We'll go in order. One question from Awkward, getting the highest. So you can tee off with the first question. Unless you'd like to defer said question.
Yeah, can I first thing?
Okay. That'll bring it up to max.
Okay. Let's see. That's just a 1. Okay.
Yep. And you can ask any question you'd like, and I'll do my best to filter the information through the situation.
Yeah. I think I'll take a jab at what magic was done here. Because earlier we were getting enchantment that was more about her. So if there's anything that has existed about the documents, then
Yeah.
Forensics.
So you get the feeling that when Awkward skimmed over magically, like this thing is like a void of magic, right? These pages are like devoid of magic. Though you skimming through them in the rough order with an eye towards the magic, you're building off of the kind of profile of like, okay, ensorcelment, enchantment, looking for what would the earliest hints to tell you like how this went down, right? Because if this is autobiographical, in theory, it should cover what happened, right? Or at least like the time that preceded it happening.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and you do get a lot of her to, to say it is autobiographical. It doesn't quite hit that note, if only because it is too meticulous to like really be much of a good story. It's just the brutal every single detail. So it first starts with nightmares that you catch a couple weeks, a nightmare here, a nightmare there, a nightmare here. You get the sense that this has been going on for a very long time, actually 3-4 months. And it culminated in a period of time where there was a lot more nightmares. And the nightmares coincided with intrusive thoughts during waking hours. And I think that feeds into your hypothesis that the magic that was done here is some kind of enchantment or ensorceling. And the vehicle seems to have primarily been through dreams. When
And
you're
over a
trying to,
long period of time.
it started off slow and slow, and then there seems to be some switch when it gets a lot worse, and there isn't much time between when it gets worse and when the account completely ends. Okay, next up is Deb.
Okay. Working with everyone to connect all these dots and understand that there's some sort of ensorcelment going on, and these people are, um, if brought to, at least as we've seen so far, if brought to its full conclusion, they're sort of erased entirely. Uh, Deb may not know much about magic, but she does know about crime and trying to take advantage of other people. And so I'm trying to draw parallels on what would a creature have to gain from doing this sort of thing. So I'm looking at essentially what can it do,
Mhm.
having accomplished what we've seen it accomplish so far. What types of motivations might make something or someone want to do these things?
Interesting. Okay, so through the vein of what can it do, through that specific question, I'll give you a little bit extra, which is you catch references to snippets of uh very conspicuous absences of missing time or missing accounts during the
Mhm.
waking time period. Um Such that like instead of being like, oh, you're missing a page, you catch it like 1 or 2 times happening in the middle of a page, right?
Mhm.
Where this thing is brutally autobiographical, and for it to be skipping something is important, right? Something happened. These people, or at least this person, was doing things during waking hours that aren't accounted for
Mhm.
in this passage of themselves. So it with a question of like what uh can it do, that is something you're realizing it can do, right? It could exert some control over them during their waking hours, apparently before the full process concluded, right? Before the account ends. With regards to what it wants, it's hard to say other than you kind of work backwards from like motive, right? Which is
Mhm.
you try to look at like what are the dreams about? And they start off nightmares, but they eventually aren't nightmares anymore, and they do become very strange, but like no real through line other than the one through line you catch is an offer of uh purpose in exchange, and the freedom that comes with purpose in exchange for everything about you, right? And so what you're putting together from this thing's motivations, if that's the asking price, if that's what it wants, then really what it wants is control. And beyond that, what it seems to want, beyond the ability to control them, is everything that they are.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Back to the top. Awkward.
Is Doug still allowed BRB?
He might be. Yeah, we'll move on then. He can ask his questions in a sec. So yeah, do you relay everything that the two of you kind of put together? You both put together very separate but highly related pieces of information.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I would imagine, and that he and I are although our conclusions, what we learn from it, is separate. I imagine that he and I are conversing back and forth, like
Yeah.
pointing out, "Do you see this? Do you see that? Oh, that's interesting." And so everyone can just hear as we're drawing our conclusions and bouncing them off each other.
I think the help out in this case takes the form of like Amaros and Cam are basically standing in front of you, trying their best to like keep up with your, scattershot. And like they're trying to keep everything back in chronological order every time one of you picks something up and sets it down. Like they're trying to keep the account together so that when one of you cross references, when the pages are getting handed back and forth, because you're moving kind of fast, right?
Mhm.
Just to keep everything together so that it doesn't get completely scrambled and fucked up further. So yeah, that's what you got from this. A good chunk of information.
Hell yeah. Hey, unrelated, but earlier today, I thought I hallucinated Hekate speaking out loud, and in that moment, I noticed a lot of people's eyes looking around as if they might have heard something. But that'd be crazy, because you can't hear my god.
Definitely heard something being said by somebody, but I don't know who it was.
I think it's safe to say it's whoever is doing this. I get the impression that whatever magic you did interrupted its hold on that thing, on the guy in the tracksuit, or at least pulled on it enough that it. I mean, because it happened right after you did it, so I can't believe the two things are not related.
Catching attention.
Mm-hmm. Which ain't good, especially if Awkward's forgetting Awkward's last name. Remind me what Awkward's last name is, Harlow?
I say it out loud, and I'm sure nobody hears it.
Uh-huh.
Right. That. Yep, that's it. That means two people here have caught its attention. That cannot be good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nothing out of the normal for us, anyway. We always seem to be drawing the attention of something or other.
Yeah, that is true.
But sort of comes with the territory. They stand out and we stand out.
Awkward. Do you have some questions for me?
Did anyone ask what is being concealed here?
Nope.
Okay, that's my question.
What is being concealed here?
I think we should notice that we didn't know that.
I'll give it to you from the weird angle of things. A thing
Ooh.
being concealed here. The using your sight and the absence of like anything going on with this thing. Concealed within whatever this is. Both you get the sense that the writing of all of this down, in addition to the burning it, that itself constitutes some kind of like formal ritual. This is where it reaches the edge of your wheelhouse because you know about magic, but you're not like Harlow, right? You don't know about
Okay.
rituals. You just get the sense like, oh no, like below this though, beyond just the papers that are here, this thing is a sequence. The burning of this thing is itself like that matters, right? That does something. And it's a little bit concealed within the nature of what it is, which is, a bunch of magically dead papers in a bag that were getting thrown into a fire. You have, I think, another question?
Do I?
Yeah, you
Oh,
rolled
yeah. 11.
you rolled high.
Yeah, I sure did. I can hold it, right? Or does anyone have a suggestion for a question?
Can we find out where it is? Is that a question we can ask?
Or where did it
Uh,
go?
Where
Yeah.
did it go? Yeah, the where did it go is fairly easy to answer because there are accounts of this actually connects into something Deb caught on to, which is in reference to some of the bits of missing time, there are the autobiographical picks back up, not every time, but now that you see it more times than not, driving away from the forest.
Driving away in its car.
No, this is specifically with regards to the person here, right? What used to be a person. It loses time. She loses time in her day to day, right? It happens out of nowhere and then it picks back up again, not always, but often with her driving out of the forest in her car is the next autobiographical note that picks up. So working backwards from there, it isn't super helpful necessarily, but it definitely seems that whatever is going on, it's in the woods. Okay, that was 2. All information accounted for.
Okay, well, before we go just combing the woods again, do we want to check out the first place?
Yes.
I really, I think I need to invest in a logging company and just cut that whole goddamn forest down. It is making everything around here problematic.
But how will you breathe?
With my lung.
Well, if you cut down every forest you see, eventually.
Oh no. I just meant this one specific forest.
I don't know. It has character.
I
Yeah,
moved here to
that's
be
part of the
to it.
goddamn problem is there's all kinds of characters in that woods. First character was a freaking staircase, and now we got a person eating thing out there, and
I think you'll find if you try to cut it down, it'll never work.
yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, so you're saying burn it?
Oh, it's too wet up here to burn that place.
Mm. All right, everybody,
In the car.
in the van.
All right, where are you headed?
I have an address supplied to me by my agency.
All right. So the sitting order in the car is who? Well, Deb is always driving. Who's in shotgun?
Shotgun.
Yeah, I feel like it passes between Amaros and Cam, depending on who calls it first. Okay. In the 2 rows of back seats.
I pretty much only take shotgun when we are like,
yeah.
hey, we found where the thing is.
Yep.
Let's go confront it.
Awkward. I'm
beyond
just gonna
that, it's-
assume, unless you tell me otherwise, that you're sitting in the far back,
Always
in the third row.
I always
Uh,
sit in the very far back, which means every time I've stretched over to heal somebody, I am
Yeah.
over the middle row.
So Cam and Amaros are in the middle, right?
well, Amaros is
Amaros
riding
is in the front,
shotgun,
yeah.
so it'd be me
Oh,
and Rob
shit, yeah.
normally.
Yeah. In this case, just you. Yeah. You all, as you are filing into the car, Deb, you're looking out the front, and you and Amaros, you both see it's very strange. Your fate. You begin to. So you're driving from like Cam's house, and that's going to take you south, right? Uh, Deb, I think you catch it first that in your rear view mirror, you look back towards the forest, and there is like a pretty severe line where suddenly it looks like it is night beyond that.
Mm.
Like it's day on your side, and then back the way you came, you look back and there is a like straight line across as far as you could see left and right. You're looking in the rearview mirror before you turn your head to look behind you, and it is filling up. It looks like the forest at night, just beyond that line. It's
Well-
still probably a couple 100 feet behind you, right? But there it is.
Do I sense that that line is moving?
It is definitely not.
Okay.
And I said couple 100 feet. It's way more than that. Cam lives probably a couple miles
Right. Okay.
away from the forest. So you just see it a couple miles
Okay.
back. If you bring it to everybody's attention, they can see it now.
Yeah, I mean,
too.
I'll point it out and just ask, anybody make heads or tails of that?
What exactly am I looking at?
I stare at Harlow to see if Harlow sees it.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, I'll nod.
Oh, I was hoping that you would be like, hey, what are you talking about? But yeah, fuck, that means it's real not good.
Can we roll to investigate this where we are, or do we need to get closer?
You can from where you are. Right now, you're just like looking out the back seat, right? It's
Mhm.
still a long distance away, so you can. It might be kind of limited in what you get though,
Mhm. Mhm.
because you're not really close enough to do much useful
Yeah.
other than just like vibe check it out.
Just so I'm clear, we all see that it is nighttime in the forest, even though it is the middle of the day, right? I mean, that about sums up what we're seeing.
Oh, yes, a distinct barrier. Possibly a new realm.
I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page.
Okay.
Woo.
What do you got?
I want to start by asking what is being concealed.
Interesting. I think so. First thing is this definitely trigger probably first. This would trigger your Occam's razor or
Okay.
Occam's broadsword. So we'll start there.
Okay. Is it a natural, or is a natural, unnatural creature, a weird phenomenon, or person?
Definitely a weird phenomenon.
Okay.
In question to what is being concealed here, it rather seems like the opposite, maybe. Like potentially you're seeing a thing unconcealed. It's kind of hard to put a bead on it, but using your kind of magical vibe sense, right? You're getting a sense that there is nothing actually concealed here, but that might be the point.
Okay. So it's not nightfall to cause darkness and obfuscation. It's for some other reason.
Yep.
I guess what happened here is a good question to ask.
The what happened here, I'll put it to you more as a two potential options. Either you are seeing something that was already there, and if you are seeing something that was already there, why are you seeing it now? Right? That's the extension of that question. Or you are like seeing something that isn't there. If it's the latter, then potentially, okay, that's somewhere else, right? If it's the former, if it is there, then why is it that you're able to see it right now?
I'm having a hard time comprehending what you're saying with those two answers together. I'm sorry.
That's fair. It was overly complicated and confusing anyway. Essentially, if what you're seeing here is real, then either you're seeing something that is under the surface and you're just seeing it, removed from glamour, or you are looking into somewhere else right now when you look beyond that line of darkness. It's
Okay.
unclear to you at this point which it would be. I think you got one more if you want to use it.
Do I? I asked two. I think I only get the two.
Oh, did you? No, you asked one of them was Occam's broadsword, right?
I got that one, and I asked what is being concealed.
Right. Okay. Yeah, those are your
Yeah.
two. Okay. Yeah, you all about to take off. Deb is like getting all of our stuff in order, sees this in the rearview mirror. Your all heads are all craned to look back behind you now.
I don't have an answer that makes enough sense without getting closer.
So we got a creature that operates through dreams, enchants through a song, doesn't really consume. Well, I mean, it does, but it makes a trade. And maybe is now showing us where it lives. Does that sound about right there, buddy?
Might be the closest we've got, yeah.
I think the siren thing is right. It's all the telltale signs, right? Charms, lures, promises. Brings you in and drains you dry.
Yeah. Hey, can we go inside real quick? I just want to look through my papers on all my cases.
Actually, we're in the van on the about to enter the forest, right?
No, you hadn't even left the parking lot.
Oh,
Like you all
okay.
got in the van, and then Deb looks in the rearview mirror and is like, "Fuck me." Okay.
So we're still in the
Yeah,
parking
you're-
lot at Cam's house. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, you did
That's
not
actually
make it
great.
anywhere.
That's great. I look at Cam and say, "Do you have earplugs for all of us,
Yeah.
just in case?"
I mean, I think Deb still has some here in the car.
Certainly.
take a set of earplugs in case it's a siren.
Why
Cam,
don't
go ahead.
you run in and check on what you need? I think I'm going to sit out here and keep the car running.
Yeah, I won't be long.
Yeah, Cam, you hop out of the car. As you hop out and you're walking back towards your apartment, your eye glances over to the trees, and you do not see that distinction of night anymore. It looks like regular daytime.
I will stop and get back in the car.
Yep, you get back in the car, you could see nighttime again.
I will get out of the car. I will get
Yep.
back in the car. We'll get-
Yeah, it seems to happen the second both of your feet hit the ground and you are no longer making contact with the car. You try your hand on the car and you still can, but then you take your hand off and it goes away. Everybody watches you do this sequence.
You okay, Cammy?
Yeah, it's the car. Well,
Excuse
whatever's
me?
letting us see it is on your Sienna. Step out for a second. You'll see what I mean. Step out. Don't touch
Yeah.
don't touch the car. Don't touch the door.
I step out.
Yep, same thing.
I'll try that. Climb
Yeah.
over Rob.
Same thing.
Can I stick my head out the window?
Yeah, doesn't work.
Looks the same to me.
Yeah,
That's
you try
because
to
you're
like,
still
lean out
touching the
window.
car.
I follow Cam's instruction and get out of the car.
Yeah, one by one, you all get back out into the parking lot. You are now looking at regular daytime. From here, you can only barely see like the trees, as they're not quite tall enough this early. You see a little bit of them further in, but you definitely don't see that hard line of night.
Wait, so hold on. If we get in the car and see the trees, it's a different tree line?
Uh-huh.
Because like okay. Okay.
Yep.
That tracks.
Yeah, Cam, you pick up on that, that you can see the trees easier when you're in the car. Whereas outside the car and you're looking over, right, it just looks like a regular forest with some like houses and shit in the way, right? You can't like see off into the vastness of the. But even at night, it look like through the night lens, you see the trees seem a little taller. You could see the tops of them a little easier. It's a very subtle perspective shift, but you can see them easier from inside the car, Cam.
Does it look like when we do the perspective shift, does it look like it's just a perspective shift of the forest, or does it look like we are seeing two different forests? One our forest and then one that we're seeing through this glamour.
I think it is a combination of both of those notions.
Okay.
It looks like the same forest. When you like try to pin your eyes on the top of a single tree and be like that tree, the other side is just more exaggerated potentially, right? But that the physical locations may potentially map somewhat, right? It doesn't look like a completely foreign forest.
Got it.
So, do y'all think that this is just some group illusion that is occurring when we are touching the Toyota? Or do you think the exposure to whatever was in the woods is allowing us to see into this creature's realm or area? Or
No, I get the feeling this is deliberate because we didn't notice this when we was driving back. We didn't notice it till now.
It
Yeah, we
kind of
didn't
feels like a door being opened and we're being asked to come inside, but it's like, a gingerbread house, so we should be scared of shit.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know, Harlow. I think it should be scared of shit. It fucked with Deb's car.
You do not fuck with the girls' ride.
Well, shit, I think that we should all just get back into the van and drive into it. And I mean that.
Be prepared. Things could get strange in there.
All right, let me get my bag out of my apartment.
Yeah, Cam, you head into your apartment. What are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing my go bag. I am also going to take a moment to since Cam is probably the only one in the apartment, everyone's waiting by the car. Cam will go into the room that serves as an office, scoot his desk away from the wall, open up the bit of floor that has been cut, resealed, and covered to find the truly worst of all of his files, and just start trawling through them and seeing what in there might spark a memory. I am using my dark past.
Okay.
Dark past.
Oh no!
Oh,
no.
holy
Ah.
cow! Incredible.
Yeah, but that's
Wow.
okay because on a miss, I can ask a question, but it means that I'm personally complicit in the situation we're now dealing with.
Yes. Yes. What did you do?
Is that what you're going with?
Hell yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and ask your question. Because it'll inform what kind of flashback we're about to get.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to make some shit up on the fly. Give me it. Let's do this.
I can ask one of 4 questions. I am going to go with when I dealt with this creature or one of its kind, what did I learn?
When you dealt with a creature.
I don't know exactly. We don't know exactly what this is, obviously, but we do know enough that maybe I can analog onto something similar. It was
Great.
clearly not a good situation because this is in I've got like other boxes of files of open and closed cases all over my office. They are
How long-
mostly the
How long have you been a field agent, Cam?
Oh boy, I think I said I've been a field agent for like 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Hold on, I mentioned it and the DM. I mean, I will try to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the last 15 years, he has been in 6 or 7 places until coming to Beeman Bay. And I don't know how
Okay.
long they've been here in Beeman Bay. I think I've said I've been here for like a while.
Yeah.
So
Where
I
do
would
you
say
think
I've
the
been an
first
agent for at
place?
least 20 years.
Where do you think the first place you were stationed was?
That was the Louisiana field office.
Okay.
That is where I dealt with some zombies that had
Yeah.
red slugs up in their heads and meta Rougarou.
Yeah. That was the Louisiana field office. Definitely is one of those places where it's kind of trial by combat. There are a handful of shit shows, but that's a pretty good one, where they really see like, are you actually going to be able to handle yourself? And one of the minor cases, it was one of the first ones that you were like given permission to go out by yourself. There was a like hot springs that had formed back behind some guy's shack in deep in like swamp country. And the thing that drew the DFA's attention was just first off, it was the guy bringing a bunch of gold bullion into like the nearest town. Immediately flags for the local field office. Is like, oh fuck, that's not right. When you looked into it further, the first time you went, you saw what was clearly an anomalous hot spring, and that there should not be a fucking hot spring here. That's just not how. Like you tried to. You're not a geologist. You're not an expert, but like it's not like it was a pile of like warm swamp water, right? It was like a proper hot spring, fully formed in this guy's backyard. uh and you wrote it down like as anomalous, wrote down that like, okay, the guy says he pulled some gold out of it. Just keep an eye on it. When the zombie problem got worse, um the case here, this hot spring popped up again, because the old man, like essentially showed up to one of the fights that you were having with one of the nests of the slugs, right? And he was wielding a sword. He like killed a bunch of them and then just vanished. That immediately pinged, okay, something that they're what is going on with him? You went back to check on it, and found that there was no shack, found that there was no hot spring, and you also, this one stuck out to you, and I think the thing that it's making you remember it the most is you remember that something about this fucked with your notes, uh, because you just could not, you still can't figure out what that guy's fucking name was. You assumed at the time that that's just because he didn't give his name, maybe because that some backwoods people, that it's just a politeness thing. Maybe you didn't ask, right? You're not really sure. Um, so the way in which you think you are complicit for this is very possibly you think that you saw a either smaller or early or different version of this thing. You flagged it as a minor problem, and then it disappeared. And you wrote it down as just one of those weird ass things that happen, right? And as the flashback ends, that's what you're left with, Cam, as you're looking at this file.
Okay, and ultimately I learned that this thing it will go away on its own and potentially move if not stopped.
Yeah, so when you dealt with this creature, one of its kind, it will get what it wants, whatever that is, and then it will move. And additionally, it seems to, if the old man is an indication, the old man was noted as being anomalously good at sword fighting for a backwoods hillbilly guy, right? Who just showed up to help fight zombies and then disappeared. Which implies that potentially the thing is able to empower individuals somehow as an additional thing that it can do, to answer your question.
Okay,
All
I
of that
will
make
put
sense?
I will put everything back. I will
Mhm.
grab my gun bag and head out the door.
Okay. Yeah, is everybody waiting in the car or outside the car?
In the
Stepped out.
car.
I've stepped
Yeah.
out of the car because this sounds like it has taken some time.
Deb is in the car, just white knuckling the steering wheel, just
Yeah.
hot with rage.
Cam, I think as a part of your failure as well, it takes you a bit. You kind of get lost in it for a moment. And so you realize like, ah, shit, you meant to, scoop in, scoop out, in and out. It's been like 5 minutes, like a conspicuous amount of time.
Sorry. I was going through my papers like I said I was going to. Got a little sidetracked, but are we really going right into that? Do we really think that's a good idea?
You have a better idea?
I mean, not right now, no. Except maybe not going into the strange, weird dimension of monster that takes over people, sings to them, and then makes them disappear. Even if it does
Well,
make them kick ass ninjas
Well,
first.
when we originally came out here, we were going to investigate somebody's roommate and maybe find some additional clues in that location. Is there any value in still doing that?
I mean, I'd say knowing more is always useful, but well, I mean,
We can drive into it, but I'm not sure what we expect to see or find, or I don't know how to.
I don't know if we expect to drive back out, do we?
well, of course.
I mean, we don't know what we're dealing with exactly. We don't know.
It's likely it can't physically trap the location, but I mean, it could mentally trap us there. But not with these. I put earplugs in.
Up to y'all. If y'all going in, I'll do my best to keep y'all alive, get you back out.
Great.
All right, let's go, team.
Okay, back into the forest.
Into the heart of
Yeah.
the dark forest.
Okay. Yeah, everybody
While we are
hops back in
driving
the
there.
car.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
while we are driving there, Cam will. Hey, so I had a similar case one time. I think it was in my first post in Louisiana. I told y'all about Louisiana and them zombies had the slugs up in their brains. Not like hoodoo zombies, which you'd think of when you hear Louisiana, but yeah, that threw us for a loop for a bit. We were looking. Anyway, it doesn't matter. While we were dealing with one of them nests, I also had a case where a hot spring came up out of nowhere. I mean, it's not really the right place, Louisiana, for hot springs. And this guy was pulling gold and all kinds of valuables out of it, and then while I was fighting one of them zombie nests, he just came just charging in with a sword in Louisiana. I mean, don't get me wrong, folks in Louisiana is armed and all, but I mean, it's usually guns, not like mid 13th century armaments. It didn't look like a replica either. Anyway, point is, afterwards, he just sort of vanished, sort of like we just saw, and not just him, his whole house, the hot spring that was gone too.
Whoa.
Everything
King
in
Arthur
my
of the South.
everything in my reports also vanished. Everything about him, all the reports, just big old blank spot where a name should be. That should sound familiar. So, just saying, be careful. Apparently, there are in fact hot springs that go around distributing swords, and then you vanish.
But reappear when you're needed most. Huh?
No, he didn't ever reappear again. He just vanished.
Oh,
There was
Oh.
no reappearing.
Well, I mean, he showed
really,
up the one time.
yeah, that was before he vanished. He showed up and then he vanished after the zombies were dealt with. I didn't even have a name to put in my report. Well, I mean, I did at first, and then by the time I filed the report, it was just a big old blank line.
I still think we should go into the forest or in that portal, I guess, into the darkness.
Oh, we're headed towards the darkness right
Yeah,
now.
you're headed
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Okay,
You
great.
officially
Awesome.
pulled onto the road where it's now a straight shot in.
Cool.
Yep, me too. Cock the shotgun.
Yeah, you.
Does the line look like it's getting closer as we're driving?
Yeah. You can
Okay.
tell, especially you, Deb, can tell that like it is staying consistent relative to the tree line, right?
Okay.
It is just the new tree line happens to be a wall of darkness. And actually, now that you're closer, the two of you in the front seat, as you look up and in, you can see the moon actually over the forest, like over the tree line. It is
Okay.
very low and very, very large. It's fucking weird because you can also see the sun, which at this point is behind you.
When we get, I mean, I'm driving into it, right? So
Yeah.
when we get just over that line, right, I'm gonna bring the van to a halt,
Uh-huh.
right? I want to see, do I still see sunlight behind me now that I'm over the line?
You do not.
Okay.
And in fact, from inside the forest, you see what used to be, the forest at night is dark, but for the light of the moon. There are like little kind of strange lanterns giving off faint luminescence as far as the eye can see in every direction in a way that is very disorienting,
Okay.
right? Because the trees suddenly look like more like pillars than trees, and
Right.
each of them has this light, and the effect as you gaze to the left and the right and deep into the night is just endless rows of trees and lights.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'm
no
gonna
light behind you.
I'm just gonna hop out of the van real quick, make sure I'm not touching anything. Dark or light.
Light.
And as soon as I touch the van again, it's dark.
Yep. In fact, it hurts your eyes, right? Because you go from complete nighttime to
Right.
daytime, and you're not far enough into the forest for the trees to obscure the sun.
Right. I will get back in the van, explain to everyone what I just witnessed, and ask, anybody got any idea where we're going now? Excellent. Let's go for a ride. And I put it in drive and just start going forward. And I, knowing that there were people in here burning things, I'm just going to look for any pillars of smoke that I see.
Okay. Is there anything anybody wants to do as you begin your drive forward?
I'd like to see if a past me has dealt with. I'm convinced it's a siren.
Sure.
Has past me interacted with this either this creature, or I'm also thinking like just passing into like passing a threshold, because
Yeah,
my
sure.
god's about thresholds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me that roll. We'll see.
How do I make it roll? It's okay. I use magic. Okay.
Use weird.
Okay. I'm trying to fail. Dang.
Ugh.
Okay.
Okay. A past life has a little experience with this. I can ask one of the questions below. Hmm.
What do you got?
Okay. What important hidden secret can a past life show me the way to?
Interesting. Um. Okay. So we're gonna
We
go
cross the barrier, we cross the
right.
threshold, and in that moment, a prayer to Hecate.
Yeah. You find yourself on a winding. Suddenly, it is clear how far back. Based off your clothing, it must be very far back. But you are walking up a winding path. There is a spiral path around the base of a volcano. Um, while you are on the path, to your left and to your right, to your left is always the mountain itself, the volcano, and it stretches ever up. And to the right is just black shale as far as your eye can see. You know you are here because there is a demon that needs to be vanquished in the heart of the volcano. And you understand what you are in as you walk the spiraling path is a form of you would know it as you have essentially stumbled or intentionally pulled on a thread, um, and this particular thread took you over a threshold to a place that is both here and not here, which to your brain makes perfect sense,
Of
right?
course.
Uh, you know then that the rules were in the song that you were told, and the song told you that you must stay upon the path and you must follow the path until you cannot follow it anymore. So even though your temptation may be to leave the path, you know that the rules for what you're doing is to be on the path. And you know that places like that have rules to them. They have ordering structures that are usually ritualistic or require you to do something, to act a certain way, to be a certain way. And so you know that if your past self talking to your present self implores you to find the rules, find the structure, right?
Hell yeah.
Because even though it is not at all the same, it it is the same, right? It's the same logical structure to things that are powerful enough to impose themselves upon reality. Even they must adhere to rules, as in the case of the mountain god that you killed.
I think as that memory relives itself, surfaces again, I think that's explained to everybody by talking to Harlow about like what they know about rules of realms like this. Using like stories of the Fae as an example and a jumping off point, and so we have a conversation about how these things like work and are structured.
Well,
Do we know any of the rules?
um, I guess I have to roll to know rules, Cody?
Uh, uh, unfortunately, the rules are as varied as the story, and the
Mm-hmm.
stories are as varied as the culture. So to nail down what you're working with here is currently impossible without doing something, right?
We need more information to discover the rules of this
Yes.
place. Yeah.
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 Essentially, Amaros has identified a potential thread that can help with this place, but you don't have the end of that thread yet. You
Mhm.
just know what to look for.
Rules can hinder but also help, sometimes be exploited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Deb, you said you were driving further in, right? You're trying to find one of the bits of smoke.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
I will do my best if there's a road. If obviously I drove in here on a road, so I'd like to stay
Uh-huh.
on that as much as possible. Otherwise, just whatever major path it turns into, I'm doing my best not to turn off of anything, on the assumption that at least I'll be able to turn around and follow it back out if need be.
Yep. The road tracks roughly to what you think it should, Deb, with your
Mhm.
memory of the layout here. However, the specific topography of the road changes a little bit. The ground itself becomes a little bit less well, it was paved, right? It is no longer paved. It's a little bit kind of messy to drive upon. Additionally, the trees to either side have sort of made it into a single lane, whereas before it was a 2-lane, right?
Mhm.
And that happens. That's not uncommon when you get on some of the back roads, but in as far as you know, you should be on one of the main roads that should just take you through, right?
Mhm.
And it is like following the same path, but the topography is different. Yeah, you proceed forward. Deb, you realize it's hard from you'll have to probably throw me some kind of roll, or anybody will, because it's hard to really see much.
Okay.
I think the thing that's really throwing you is the lights on the trees that everybody can see, right? It's hard to like see anything beyond them, to see light of like a fire or to see
Mhm.
anything above them, because they're just sort of distracting your visual field constantly.
Right. And this is investigate a mystery, I would assume. Is that the role we're
Uh,
looking for?
you can either interpret it as that or read a bad situation. You can assess the questions and decide, which you would like. Because I think either is appropriate here. And you would obviously get your driving benefit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And who all can roll?
Anybody can roll. We'll start with Deb, just because Deb
Mm.
is doing the driving. But once Deb does her roll, then we can sound off for whoever wants to investigate this or read a bad situation. Cool. Fucking crazy. Okay. Bear in mind that because of read a bad situation, you can hold these for quote unquote the
Mhm.
scene, right? So you don't have to
Yeah.
blow them all right now.
I think I'm going to hold two of them, but right now I'd like to know, are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Yeah. Um, as you are driving and you are kind of unfocusing your gaze to see the full visual field in front of you, beside you, kind of the like vehicle state that you can get into, Deb, where it's like seeing more than, you know, it's just a way of looking, right? It's a way of staking places out, just sort of unfocusing your eyes so that you can see more. Um, you catch glimpses of definitely some figures off deep in the tree lines that uh are they are very still, and then as you pass, it's strange because from your perspective, like whatever they're wearing is very shiny. It
Mhm.
glints a whole bunch from the light surrounding it, and when you see them and then like blink, they disappear.
Okay.
But they're
I'll
very
sort of
noticeable
narrate
for a
that
second.
and call it out as I'm seeing them, and the next one and the next one.
Hmm. And
And I'm
write
going to
down
hold
that
the
you
other two.
yeah
Yeah.
write down that you have a +1 ongoing for that particular thing, right? For the
Great.
unnoticed dangers, because
Mhm.
that may be relevant.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody can sound off whether you interpret this as a bad situation. Certainly you may, now that Deb has informed you of this. But if you'd like to stay with Investigate a Mystery, you may.
Oh.
Uh, Doug, do you got anything?
Does it have to be investigative mystery, or can I also
Nope.
read a bad situation?
It could be read a bad situation.
All right, I'll try.
Certainly, certainly, awkward might think that this is now a bad situation. You've driven
always
into
thinks
the
he's in a
mouth of the
bad
monster again.
situation.
Yeah, they've driven you into the forest. You're, God damn it!
Hooray!
Fucking okay.
I was really hoping because that's one of my advanced moves, so I was hoping for something big, but that works too. It's
Okay.
I like advanced success or failure better than success.
Okay, we'll get to awkward in a second.
No, God.
Bless this mess. We've got Amaros. What about Cam and Harlow?
Yeah, I feel like Cam has figured this was a bad situation
Yeah.
from the beginning.
Yeah, since you decided to drive into the dangerous place.
And I, because I am a tactical genius, when I read a bad situation, can roll plus cool instead of plus sharp. Also, don't
Yep.
forget that you are holding a bunch of minus.
I
You are
certainly
holding
am.
up
Yeah.
to -3. Okay,
Mhm.
just reminding you.
You just keep rolling too good for me to do anything about it.
Well, you call it. Remember, we decided on calling before.
True. Yes.
Before the roll.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yes.
Yeah.
I need to hit you ahead of time. Don't worry. I'll.
I'm
I'll-
sure it'll
I'll
come
get
up at a
ya.
worse time.
I'll get you.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. I'm going to go with the investigative mystery first. So, Amaros, you are Amaros still unbothered and in his element
Mm-hmm.
is just investigating. So hit me
Yeah.
with a question.
Yeah, cool. Hang on, let me bring up the thing again. Ooh, okay. Where did it go?
It meaning what specifically?
Ooh. I mean, I guess I'm referring to the creature. Thinking about like we're entering this space. I'm looking around, I'm feeling the energy in the place, right? Getting a sense for if this thing is powerful and is in this area, is it drawing energy to itself, right? Can I get a sensation of direction in that way?
Okay, you are headed roughly north. Though you know that the path is going to fork a little bit west in a second. You have a sense as you kind of like allow yourself to feel the kind of ley energy of this place, right? The weave, the threads, if you will. You feel that there is an epicenter somewhere. Your best feeling is that it would be continuing to go north. You do not know how far, but do you feel as you guys angle off a little bit to the west, as you hit like a wall of trees and you have to turn, you feel that if you could continue keep going north, eventually you would find some kind of epicenter.
Thick. Um, I begin uh I begin leading us a little more northernly and saying I feel like there's something in this direction, but I don't know what it is.
Deb, give me a actually we'll go through the others first. So we'll go with Harlow's one read a bad situation. And feel free to hold it if you'd like.
Yeah, hold.
Okay. How about you, Cam?
I'm going to hold 2 of my 3, but
Mm-hmm.
I will ask as we are driving and we're on the road and we're taking various turns, and I'm trying my best to pick out landmarks, keep track of where we're turning. What's our best way out is what I want to be able to answer. And if it's better to hold that and just ask it later, I'm willing to do that as well.
So for better or for worse, what you're realizing is that so far you've only been on one path, right? And there's been no divergence of that path. So in theory, turning around and running the way you came would be the best way out, right? Because it doesn't look like anything weird has happened behind you as you've been driving. So it would be simply to trace your steps back to the beginning. Okay. Deb, give me a act under pressure with your driving bonus. I'll tell you what it's for, so you can choose if you'd like to trigger one of your read a bad situation holds to get even
Okay.
better. Um, this is for trying to follow Amoros's instructions. It's getting more difficult as you're gonna have to probably off road here in a second if you want to keep going north,
Yeah.
unless you want to.
Before I make that act under pressure thing, I'd definitely use one of my current holds for what's the best way in.
Mhm. Okay, best way in. You essentially have two options. If you off road, you can probably go a little ways in, but you'll hit a snag. You know that the way the forest kind of works is one path branches out and then creates sort of a broad branching spiral all the way around the forest. And a lot of the camping spots are done that way. So you just continue a spiral that goes in a circle and it eventually meets back up with a space that's a little bit north of where you are. So either you can leave the road or you can go west for a second until you get on the path that will take you north. It's not going to go directly north in what would have been the direction that was north when you were on the singular path in, but it will be taking you north. And you also know that that area over there will take you closer to where one of the fires you investigated today was. So that's the option before you. You can either off-road it and take, by the Sparrowfly straight in and just see how far your van can make it, or you can take the designated path around.
I've got confidence in myself, so I'm just gonna go straight in.
Okay, give me an act under pressure, and you will add your driver and the +1.
Okay, so that's a total of +2.
Yep,
Okay, I'm gonna add another one to that for the recording. I'm gonna burn that
sure.
one here because this sort of feels important.
Huge. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's see. Um, uh, you it continues on for a good amount, Deb. At this point, everybody inside is deeply uncomfortable because the van is, bouncing, it's shaking,
Mhm.
you're taking hard turns. You are going through a forest that a van should not be able to go through, but you're
Dude,
finding a way to make it.
fuck you. My 4-wheel drive Toyota Sienna belongs everywhere.
And speaking of that Toyota Sienna, the hard choice before you is you think you can just maybe keep going. Amoros feels like you're on the right heading.
Mhm.
And if you just keep going, maybe you'll get there, but you're running a real risk of fucking the van. And you can't guarantee that it's not going to get too damaged to either get back out or you don't know, right? You're getting to the place now where you might scrape the engine somewhere, right? Every moment you are driving forward, you're getting more likely to hit something that could put you out of commission. So that is the hard choice before you.
How far in have I made it off of the path?
It hasn't you haven't gotten super far, probably like, you know, I mean, actually probably decently far, like getting close to like half mile. It's taken a long time because you haven't been able to go particularly fast in places, right? But you get about a half mile off the trail and are still you think you can probably keep going. It's just risky.
All right, team. We got a decision to make. We can get out and proceed from here on foot, or I can back the van out, get back on the path, and loop around a little bit to take the actual path that goes in a more northerly direction. But at least as far as due north goes here, this is about as far as the Sienna is going to make it.
Did you see a pathway that went north?
Well, I know from having driven through these woods that there is a path that goes north. As it's not as due north as the heading that we're on right now. It's a little out of the way, but it'll 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 get us closer and will allow us to stay with the van. So I guess the simplest way to put the issue to everyone is if we leave the van, we can stay on the most direct path possible.
No. You know a way. This is the first rule. You know the path.
Anybody have a different opinion?
If you know a way, you should take that path. Let's stick with the car.
All right.
Yeah, I think having the car to make a speedy exit would be a real good idea.
I put the Sienna in reverse, put my right arm around the back of the driver's seat as I turn around so I can look out the back window and drive
Hot.
us back.
I mean,
Just bump, 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 bump.
right. Drive
Anybody
us back
want
to the path so we can loop around.
anybody want to do anything while Deb is driving back towards the path? It's gonna take going back will probably actually be a little bit faster, Deb, just because you know the path you took in, right? And you're an expert wheelman. So does anybody want to do anything in the 10 to 15 minutes it'll take Deb to get back onto the main road?
Every now and then cheer as Deb pulls a sick maneuver backwards.
Okay. Deb, you are now back on the path. This path is going to, like I said, take you to the west at first, but it will gradually swing north. And then it will go north for a while before it swings east, right? And it'll just, like, basically make a very big circle. But that straightaway is going to be really far because this is a very, very big forest. And yeah, you are now back on the path. Deb, as you're beginning to drive this path, as you make the turn, right, and you kind of recalibrate your timing, you definitely start to get the sense that distances aren't working quite right anymore.
Right.
Because you've driven this before, you know your internal odometer, like, I know roughly where I should be, and you're not sure if it's just because the trees look kind of unfamiliar, if it's those fucking lights, if it's because the moon is the moon even in the right spot in the sky? Something is throwing off your compass, and you're not sure, like, if you know you're going the right way, you just don't know how far you've been going, right? Like, it feels like something should have happened by now. Amros, it still feels to you like now it feels north and west.
Hell yeah, that sounds fine. I'm trusting my instinct in this place that Deb is doing the correct thing.
Okay. Deb continues to drive for another 30 minutes. Go ahead.
Just a quick question, completely out of left field. I'd like to ask everyone in the car, just on a whim, anybody have anything that's solar powered on them? Calculator,
Just these.
battery.
I
that
show you my
recharges?
guns.
Is my
Funny as
little
hell.
what's it called? God damn it. My little eye in the sky, is that solar powered?
Your drone?
My drone, thank you.
It is absolutely not.
Yeah. Battery power.
Yeah, that is. You didn't spring for that. You didn't throw that. You're not gonna find that at your local home.
Right. Yeah, it is solar
I almost called it
powered,
the best boy again.
Right, but
Even if I
it
did, I'm
operates
cheap as
for
fuck.
15
I wouldn't
seconds.
But you do have a move that could let you produce something solar powered. Awkward, I guess.
I guess I do.
You do. I forget that you have a multi Be like, I actually do have the fucking thing I
Yeah,
put in my
let me rummage
satchel.
through my bag real quick.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a
Uh,
little covered in dust still.
It is a bag of holding. It truly is. It's
It-
better.
roller
Except
shark.
now everything is
Okay.
covered in white powder, at least a little bit.
All
It's like a bag of
right, here
useful
we go. Hold on.
objects.
And nope.
Yeah. Every time I ask you for a roll, every time I prompt you and encourage you,
You're welcome,
fucking-
Doug.
Well, I know where it is, but it's somewhere real bad.
yeah, again, we do that flashback where you are like walking around the Home Depot and there's just a battery powered flashlight sitting next to a like a solar powered flashlight. And you're like, "Oh, that's neat. I'd like that." And then you realize, "But I never go out at night." And then you don't buy it. So you know exactly where it is on the shelf and you need to buy it next time. You're like, "Yeah, we're always out at nighttime though. So how am I going to use it in the day?"
Oh, what's the point
And-
of a flashlight
yeah,
at
so
night?
what's the point of a flashlight? And then you you leave it on the shelf, you pick up the battery powered flashlight, which you find for a brief moment you have this moment of triumph as your hands get around the flashlight in your bag and then you're like, "Oh.
Mhm.
No." It's the battery one.
All right, no problem.
Okay. Deb, give me another act under pressure roll.
Mhm.
At this point, another 30 minutes passes, and Deb, you are very clear that things are going weird now. There should be some movement, and you don't see a repetition of things.
Mhm.
Fucking Deb on the wheel. Okay, yeah, Deb, you are driving, and it takes a while, so we'll have another moment here if anybody wants to do anything inside the car. So we're approaching another 20, 30 minutes of just driving through this moonlit, weird nighttime forest. Anyone want to do anything?
Kind of,
Not
but I
me.
don't know what I'd do it for.
I'm afraid to prompt you for another roll, so
I kind of am too. 'cause,
I don't want to encourage you to do anything. You listen to your heart and you tell me what it tells you to do, because it feels like there's some crossover between me and your dark passenger here, and we're
No,
both
I-
trying to get you in trouble.
I feel like statistically speaking, the dice are on my side.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I'm just gonna reach out into the psychic environment, see what kind of info
Oh,
they can give me.
Yeah, good. That'll be really good. This worked out really well the exact last time you did it. Maybe if I doubt you, you'll do better.
Alright, let's try. Hey!
Okay, I breathed the audible. I don't think the mic picked it up, but an audible sigh of relief at you not getting another. If only for power leveling purposes, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, another tea party.
Okay. Yeah, you get to ask me questions, right? Or there's
You open your brain to the psychic environment. On a 10 or more, you gain a definite impression, a vision, tangible aura, overheard thought about something important. And then, because this is an advanced move, you may ask one follow-up question that the people will answer honestly.
Oh shit, you advanced this?
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder
no.
why.
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
he is
fuck.
risen.
Okay. Awkward. You can faintly hear, very, very faintly hear. And you realize that the song
Sorry,
Whatever we
exists.
were supposed to hear is so faint that we cannot hear it.
Yeah, you dropped out.
Oh, the song.
Okay. Oh, fucking
And-
great.
And whatever you realize, the song doesn't just exist. In fact, here it seems to exist solely on the kind of psychic space, right?
Mm.
In that realm of perception.
Okay, so I
And
can
then
hear... Sorry, go
you ask me a question now, right?
Okay, so I can just hear the song.
Yeah, you do.
All right. I don't know what that would ask. um, hmm. Do I get the impression that anyone's falling under the effects of it currently?
Following you?
Falling under the effects of the song. Like, is it actively being used to like hypnotize somebody, for lack of a better term?
Yes, everybody in the car.
Oh my god.
You realize that just because you cannot hear it doesn't mean you're doing something, right? And
Yeah.
it's occurring to you in this moment that if it can be felt but not heard, it's just as good, right? And that you're not sure what that means, but it's definitely probably doing something.
Hey everyone, do me a favor and just think of your names real quick. Like your full name, not just your first.
Say my name out loud.
As do I.
Yeah.
Now, but hold on. No, that's not you. What's my name? I know you're Harlow.
Cameron.
There we go. Okay.
Everybody
I
give
wasn't
me
a good guess. I've gotten those. I get these categorically.
Yeah, it sounded like you were guessing though.
everybody give me an act under pressure roll.
Oh boy.
I
Deb,
thought you didn't
you
want me
still
to
get
power
your
roll.
driver thing
Okay.
because you're behind the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Say cool.
Holy shit.
Act under pressure is what plus cool?
Cool.
Okay, I will give myself +2.
God damn, just giving me a lot, huh?
I'm just bottling it up. That's
Sure,
fine.
just bottle it up. Put it deep down inside. The one thing I can't hit you. Okay, so my final totals are Amaros
I'm
at
a
a
tumor.
7.
I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor.
Okay. Then the hard choice for both Amaros and Awkward is that you feel the as you ask the question, as the question is being bandied about, this what is your name? What is your name? You feel very strangely in each of your head an opportunity, which is that if this is a moment where you could choose not to know the answer to that question. If you do, uh, it feels like something good might happen, but you don't know for sure.
I drive the witch from my mind.
All right, you don't lean into this?
Absolutely not.
Okay. What about you, Awkward?
You know, I was initially like, absolutely not. I've lost enough. But now that he said no, I
What are you doing?
think I might.
The person who warned us about it is then going to.
That sounds right. Well,
Okay.
first of all, that sounds like Doug.
Yeah, Awkward, as you feel that sense of sure, you now realize like you do know these people. They're your friends and you've fought monsters together. But what are their names again?
All right, so
Like
good news and bad news. Uh, bad news. It seems that our earplugs may not be effective as the song exists both on the regular and psychic planes. The good news
Okay.
is it doesn't seem to be affecting any of you.
I take my earbuds out, disappointed.
Oh no, you're probably still gonna want those. I'll slide a magazine into the assault rifle.
Uh-huh.
I put him back in.
Uh, Those of you who rolled very well, you don't have any sense of anything, right? Completely rolls off of you. Awkward, as you are sitting there contemplating your thoughts, you feel a like it starts as like an itch in your mind, and as it develops, it turns into a kind of a like a a burning sensation almost. Um, roll me a let's see, roll me a D4.
Ooh, great.
3. You feel around in like you're trying to like hold on to your thoughts, and you feel a kind of like anxiety as there's something that you should be able to do that you're not. It's not there anymore. There's something in your head. It's not just the names that got taken away. You're not sure if it's related to the nature of what you do, but on on your D3 or your D4, I went 1, 2, 3, and 3 is tune in. You know that there is a name for something that you can do, but you're not sure what the name is, and you're not sure what it is anymore, and you don't know how to do it.
So I've lost my ability to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said this was a good thing.
As that happens, as you
Pretty sure it
feel,
was explicit that we don't know if it was.
I'm pretty sure Doug just got really enchanted for real.
yeah, I got you. I so awkward. You get a. Actually, this is interesting. You get an urge, and it feels like it's related to your urge, but you realize with a kind of sickening queasiness that like, is this from something else? It doesn't feel familiar like it should. It feels like it's from something else, and it says that you must get out of the car right now.
We're actively driving, right?
Yep,
Oh,
this
fuck
very
no.
moment you should get out of the car.
Is this one of those if I ignore it, I lose everything?
Well, if you want to, I told you I was going to start hurting. I told you the free ride was over. So, yeah, it is. And
Ah,
to be
stop.
clear, awkward, you don't feel like this is coming from the same place that it usually does.
Yeah, but
It
I
feels
also
wrong.
I would assume that it has the same consequences, so I'm just gonna yell.
Oh,
"Stop the car."
absolutely. Yeah. You know you're being told you must.
Yeah, I have no reason to believe it won't be that bad.
So you got to crawl up over past Cam, open the door and throw yourself out.
I think that's going to raise some flags if he unbuckles his seatbelt and starts crawling for the door.
Well, I can yell "Stop the car" while I'm doing this, right?
You
There's
can,
nothing
but
saying it. That has to be a secret.
well, yeah, it doesn't have to be a secret. You have to get out of the car right now. So in the process of getting to the door, you could yell.
Yeah, I will do exactly that.
Yeah, as soon as he yells, I engage the child locks on the doors.
No, it's
Yeah, awkward. Roll down the window.
Yep.
I'm-
I'm glad you didn't say
Does
break. 'cause I would've
Does
done
Deb
that
engage
too.
the safety lock on the windows?
Yeah,
Cameron's going to engage some handcuffs.
Right, he can get it open about an inch.
Okay. Awkward.
Awkward, remove your bonus.
Awkward. Interesting. This hasn't happened before, right? You haven't been completely thwarted from doing the thing that you want.
Yes.
So give me an act under pressure roll. I'm not gonna make Cam do one to put you in cuffs, but I am gonna make you do one to try to get away from the cuffs.
Okay.
Because Cam is gonna do this. You
I will happily plus tough to just.
Hooray.
I'd love to like
you know what?
help
You know what?
Cam.
I like this as a compete off. You know what you gotta beat.
Okay.
However you want to do this, you want to help Cam.
I
So
mean,
you want to do the help
I'm
out.
sitting next to Awkward. I can
Absolutely
put
you
my
are,
fucking
yes.
body weight on him.
Yep. Okay,
What
give
is
me a
help?
help, and then
Fuck.
Cam do the guess a kick some ass, where you're gonna try to do a zero harm.
There we go.
Okay,
Oh,
that's a
no.
1,
+1.
and I can't hurt you because it's act under pressure.
Oh no, it's a tie.
I don't know how the fuck to litigate this. We're so far in now.
Just
Um,
for the record, you actually could have because you told me to roll kick some ass, and this is not act
Shit!
under pressure, so you could have.
Shit, JQ. Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna do, now that you tied, we're just going to do an I'm so sorry awkward and opposed kick some ass roll against each other, as your attempts to weasel have become your attempts to just kick.
Okay. I'm here
So
for it.
Cam, kick some ass.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. I don't
want out of
know.
this vehicle.
Gonna lose to a scrawny little kid.
As
Uh,
he's like really like really getting over on Cam to try to get out of the window.
Yeah.
Can I try to soothe him
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think
to calm him?
yeah, the sequence is you start the process of soothing, which requires you to talk to them for I think a set amount of time. So you like start the process while Awkward's like kicking and thrashing. Awkward manages to like land a kick to Cam's solar plexus, which doesn't do anything because it's the body armor, but is enough for Awkward to like wiggle his way past up to the front seat. You're trying to get to the wheel, Awkward, so that you can like get in front of Deb and hit the, because they're just not letting you outside and they're not understanding, right? And they're not listening to you. It's at this point that the soothe kicks in. As Amaros is gently talking to you, reaches out to place a hand on you. And for the first time in your life, Awkward, the dark urge goes unresolved. It goes away.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
As Amaros, with a hand on you, speaks to you. So yeah, you by the way stop like over the center console, right? You're like wiggling in between. Like when you come back to yourself and kind of get your decorum back, you are fully like reaching forward as Deb is like turning to. That's a good question, Deb. As Awkward's moving the way forward before the soothe kicks in, what's your response to this little shit trying to climb up to the wheel?
My outward response is just calm and cool. I'm driving.
Uh-huh.
Like, he's not here yet. My inner response is, I don't care who this fucker is. Let him try and get up here while I'm driving.
Okay, Awkward,
I hope he does. I hope he does.
I wish a bitch would.
Step up into
Awkward, feeling rather sheepish now, as again your torso is like over the center console between the two of them. Like you're like leaned forward to like move the air conditioning, kind of just stuck there for a second. As Amros places a hand on your back, it just speaks to you gently. You come back to yourself.
I yank you back by your belt. And buckle you up by force.
Do I have handcuffs on right now?
I don't know. That's up to Cam.
He doesn't when he's passing by and like getting resettled, but once he's in his seat, you know the like oh shit handle that you grab
Yeah,
onto?
yeah.
I'm handcuffing him to that.
The one that's like over the wheel well back there.
Yeah.
Guess there's no wheel well on this, but yeah, there is an oh shit handle back there by the cup holder. So Awkward, how you doing?
A little embarrassed.
You have shot me with a nail gun, and now you just tried to take over the car, and you're wiggling like a fiend.
Uh-huh.
Are you on drugs?
What? No.
Oh, good.
You need to get your shit together, Awkward. This is
Dangerous.
you're being way too dangerous to all of us here and to yourself.
Well, easier said than done when you are taking orders from something you don't understand. So
What?
yeah, I don't know a lot, so I'm not going to be able to explain a lot. But suffice it to say, this isn't necessarily organically me.
That's
You're
pretty pertinent information.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've been all working as a team for a long time. That's boy.
Also, as cool as whatever powers you may have are, if they're making you shoot us, I don't like it.
Okay, that was from the monster. That's not from me. That was different.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
Okay, well, now you do. If you don't like being shot, perhaps we should stop finding this monster.
I think it's way too late for that. So maybe just like I don't know. Do we have like tinfoil? Can we just wrap it around your head or something? Will that
hey,
keep that thing
okay.
out of your brain?
His sensitivity is difficult to deal with, but we deal with it.
Well, yeah, that's what the tinfoil's for. Is for dealing with it.
Look, I know it's inconvenient, but in this life, we all take orders from somebody.
I mean, it's just my job is to keep all of you safe, and that does include you. Awkward. I'm not. This isn't a threat or anything. I'm just. It's something I gotta keep in mind. That's all. Slide the handgun slowly back into the thigh holster. Just kidding.
Or am I?
Awkward, give me a tune in roll.
Oh, hey. Bam. Hey, a death success.
Hey.
That's excellent. So I have some questions for
Ah,
you. What
Okay.
are you all planning to do right now, in as much as Awkward is aware?
We're just trying to get north.
Oh my god.
Does that seem right, Awkward?
Seems so.
And who do you regard as the biggest threat?
Me?
Yeah, who does Awkward, of the people here, who does Awkward regard as the biggest threat?
Just narrowly, probably Amaros.
Okay. So, per the specific, there's no second place here. I'm not gonna. Just first place is Amros, right?
Yep. Because at least I see the others as, mortal, able to be killed.
There is that.
That's
It's
that's
pretty
fair.
Yeah, very fair.
And where are you right now is so don't worry about that.
Okay, cool.
But you feel a awareness creep over your mind as something you almost feel you catch a moment where I think you don't have in character the like, wait, is this how it feels? Right?
Mhm.
But what it feels like is somebody like drawing a hand down your like a finger down your spine as the like kind of just barely a sensation, but just enough to like raise your hackle and feel like something's there, right?
Yeah. I guess then what Harlow sees is he just kind of like shoots up as much as he can, restrained by a seatbelt and handcuffs, and just like looks around like really crazy paranoid. Like,
Hey, hey,
yeah,
you there?
yep, not trying to drive over the car. We're good. I'm okay.
See? He's okay.
Sorry for putting you on the spot.
Sam, I don't think you need to apologize. We haven't formally removed the nail from your chest.
Oh, that's in my other armor. So just, kind of move my arm, hide the nail that is
Mhm.
totally still in this set of armor.
Okay, you continue to drive forward. Give me another act under pressure roll, Deb, as the driver.
Who's a
Okay.
cucumber?
Yeah. You continue to drive, and now we're entering 30, 40, and it's a straight shot, so you're moving with speed. And at this point, something should change. Amaros should be detecting. Um, and the sense that you get is that, like, it's probably the closest Deb gets to like a preternatural kind of feeling, but a feeling of like you're trying to push a square peg into a round hole, right? Like you are doing what you're supposed to be doing perfectly, but there's something missing, right? Inexplicably missing. Does that make sense?
Run it by me one more time.
Essentially the feeling you get is that you're doing what you are doing in terms of driving and doing this, you are doing it perfect, but you have an awareness that something doesn't seem to be working. It's a feeling you get when you're doing a job perfect, but there's that like hackles raising. It's telling you something's wrong, right? Or I'm missing something. There's something more to this than what I am currently seeing or understanding. It's almost like a criminal awareness, right? The thing that keeps you alive is being able to kind of feel out the intangibles like that. The like, this one doesn't feel good. This is no good. Or yeah, this is a good one. You get a feeling like whatever you're doing, you're missing something. You're missing something to this.
Um, I'm going to use my last banked read a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what right now is most vulnerable to me. Where can I exert the most pressure right now to change this situation?
Interesting. Um, So your zone of control currently is over the vehicle and what
Mhm.
it does, right?
Mhm.
The operation of this vehicle. And if the way you are operating the vehicle is wrong, that's the thing that needs to change. Then you need to change how you're operating the vehicle somehow. And so I think the answer to your question, the thing you'd get a +1 towards, is trying to do essentially to operate this vehicle, but to do it in a way that, changes the paradigm somehow.
Great. I'll turn off the path and head due north.
Okay. Yeah, you turn off the path, head due north. Uh, at this point, right, it's to turn off the path is actually weirdly like heading north and west, because you should be going north long enough to be sorry, east, north and east, because you should be to the west of the thing you're looking for if you continued to go forward. But yeah, you turn off the road and like I think you like spin the wheel and you're kind of like searching your mind like what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do here? And the answer takes you just I need to go this road isn't working. I need to get off the road. And you head into the forest. uh as you turn uh the the path inward is a little bit less shitty than it was back by the first sort of entryway you made into here. You're going pretty good. As an extension of that act under pressure roll, I think that extends to this bit of driving too, where you are just in flow state, right? And you continue on. It time stretches again for 10, 20. So we have an opportunity for everybody else in the car, including Deb, to do something while we're driving. You are now off the path. It's very bumpy. You are going through the trees.
Eventually we may have to walk.
I agree. I'd just like to get us as close as possible before we do.
Be gentle with the old girl.
She can take it.
Uh, let's see. Deb, give me a charm person roll with your +1 from the read a bad situation and your driver bonus.
So just a straight charm roll?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a total of +2.
Yeah. You sort of lock in and you focus, and in this weird state you kind of stop focusing about the little stuff, the next
Mhm.
turn, the next bump, and you focus just on driving, the act of driving. This is what you're familiar with, this is what you do. And that thought crystallizes as the path opens up in front of you into a uh, sort of open clearing. In the center of the clearing is a bonfire. You're as you pull through, you can continue driving and just drive the fuck over.
Mhm.
But you're at the edge of this clearing, and as you drive into it, you realize rather big, much bigger than clearings usually are in this forest.
Couple questions. Do I see
Mhm.
any people in this clearing?
Uh, give me a give me a read a bad situation. But you're using your +1 for unseen enemies from earlier.
Okay.
So you're essentially comboing your read a bad situation off of read a bad situation.
Okay.
Fucking Deb. Yeah, ask me those questions.
Any dangers that we haven't noticed in this clearing?
Not in the clearing, but on the to your as you drive in to your left, you catch that glint of something. Dead ahead, you see it barely past the fire, and to your right, there are 3 figures that are a little ways in the tree line, but they are looking towards
they're
the
around
fire.
the clearing.
Yep.
Right? What's the biggest threat?
Interesting. Your the biggest threat, quite literally, the biggest of the figures is the one to your left.
Mm-hmm.
It also is the closest to actually being in the clearing, but that might just be because it's bigger than the others.
I'm gonna bank that last one.
Okay. Do you pull to a stop, or do you stay in the car?
I that big one's the biggest threat. I pointed out to everyone. I'm now sort of making a sort of wide circle around sort of the perimeter of this clearing. As I pointed out to people, I'm rolling down my window and say, y'all have about 10 seconds to suggest a different course of action. As after I roll down the window, I'm picking up my rifle.
Okay. What's everybody else doing? If you need
Could
any
I
clarification
use
about where you are, just let me know.
could I use my hold for read a bad situation now?
Sure.
I would like to. What is the biggest threat?
So if you're asking what the biggest threat is, you can ask a different question if you want, because when Deb asked the question, there is one of them that is larger than the
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Yeah.
forgot that. Yeah, she'd caught that one. Yeah,
and
sorry.
I don't want to rob you of a question.
Yeah, yeah. What is most vulnerable to me?
Interesting. To you, the feeling you have is the itself,
What?
the fire itself,
Oh,
like the bonfire.
okay. Is there anything going on by the bonfire other than a fire?
Nope.
Okay, then I'm following Deb.
Okay, so Deb has rolled down the window, gotten the rifle ready, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I followed Deb's lead.
Yeah.
Everybody's just rolling down the windows.
Are we?
Whatever action she's
Fire?
moving to do, I'm supporting. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm swinging the rifle over so that the business end is between the front door frame of the front window frame of the driver's side window and the driver's side mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm putting the buttstock up against my shoulder. I'm getting ready to position myself to take a shot.
And you are still in the car, right?
I'm still in the car. I'm still actively moving and driving.
Okay.
Oh, can I? I'm shotgun. Can I reach over and grab the wheel?
If Deb lets you.
Of course you will. You will, right?
I look out of the corner of my eye at you, right? And then I sort of roll my eyes and let go of the wheel and put the other hand on the rifle.
Hell yeah! I actually pump my fist like yes.
So your path straight forward. It's probably about 50 feet to the fire, and then 50 feet beyond that to get to the tree line on the other side. You
Mhm.
don't see an obvious path on the other side of where you are, but that is your path, your most direct path forward.
Yeah, I don't need a direct path. Like I just need to get a clear shot at this thing. I don't mind shooting across the clearing with the rifle.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Uh, gotcha. So you definitely get a shot off first as you are initiating shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've pulled the rifle, you positioned yourself, the car is rolling forward. You shoot the big one.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a kick some ass roll.
Yeah, that hunting rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. How much harm?
2 harm.
Okay.
I hope everybody left their earplugs in.
It's just boom as it rings out in. You catch the figure on somewhere on the torso, and it whirls around with the force of the bullet and goes to a knee. While that happens, all of you see the other two break from the tree line and start running towards the car. I will show you a picture of what they look like. Let's see. I can't remember where I put this. There. I put it in the Discord. They are robed figures, but there are places on their robes that are made of stained glass, and they are catching the firelight in very strange, like glinting ways. As they are full on dashing towards you, you cannot see their faces, and the skin of their hands is weirdly dark. But they are full on sprinting towards the car. Because of the situation you've initiated, the one that you shot is on its knees and it's just getting back to its feet. Those two are running towards the car currently.
I disengage all the window locks.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Because of the situation Deb has presented, you are a good distance away from them, regardless of how I split it, right? And they are running. So everybody can kind of do something as they run towards the car.
I'd like to ward this car against the intruders.
Got
And
it.
I
So make
can,
it so they can't get in.
yeah,
Okay. Do it to it.
right. Oop.
Nice.
Yay!
Okay. The car is warded from these things. They cannot enter it.
That's sick.
A thread of silver spirals around the outside and sort of just ripples little silvery mists and creates a barrier.
Okay. How about
Cam's
we'll
got
do
an assault rifle.
yeah.
It
I was
fires
about to say
far.
we'll do gun next.
Far
a kick,
and area. I am just spraying the whole area.
give me a kick some ass. I'm gonna hit you with a -2 on this one, just as a little amuse bouche.
-2. So basically a straight roll.
Yeah.
God
Hot
damn.
damn.
Undefeated. Okay. That's how much harm?
That is normally 3, but I believe with the 11 plus, I can inflict terrible harm and then do 4 harm.
Okay.
Terrible harm, he says.
You doing kind of a strafing shot, right? And pulling like from right to
Spraying
left.
the area. Just
Yeah. The one that's coming from your right, it as you spray through it, all of you hear a very distinct sound of like shattering glass as the bullets rip through it, and you see beyond those holes that you shot, like you don't see anything in it. It looks like you're just looking through it and out the other side. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't really like do anything. It continues to run, but at this point, it like is way slower than it was before. That is clearly fucked it up real bad. There are visible holes in its surface. Amaros.
Yeah. What? What do you need?
What do you want to do?
Oh, well, I'm driving.
True. Yeah, I forgot.
I drive. I
You
do.
drive.
I do a wait. Okay. Is Cam shot? Isn't he looking to shoot?
Cam just,
Cam just shot,
emptied
yeah.
an assault
Okay.
rifle magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. You just did.
Another cacophony has gone off inside the van. It's better
Okay.
now that the windows are open, but
Yo. Okay. There's still more running at us.
there's one running still at full speed. It's running from in front of you. There's the one to the left has been winged by Deb's bullet, and the one to the right has been shot full of holes by Cam's rifle.
Sick. I I use one hand on the wheel, begin to pull it, like spin it hard, reach over, grab the e-brake. I want to spin this van and knock that fucker on his ass.
Okay, give me an act under pressure roll.
Hell yeah. An 8 we will take.
Hell yeah.
So, a hard choice, right? Or a price to pay?
Not the Sienna. Not the Sienna.
Here's the thing. In order to do that maneuver right, here's the problem. There's a fire right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have to kind of swing. You're gonna have to swing through the fire and hit it. And you can do this. It's gonna be sick. We're gonna figure out how much damage a van deals. But we're gonna have some fire damage because you are like swinging the back of a car through a bonfire, and Deb's gonna know that you did it.
Of course she is.
Uh-huh.
I'm like leaning in near her to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Deb's,
hell yeah.
Deb's gonna know. Deb's gonna keep a ledger. So do you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say like probably like 4 harm feels pretty fine for the bumper of a car. It's a pretty heavy hit.
That's a
That's
pretty
a
heavy
broken
hit.
leg.
Yeah,
It's a pretty
that's
heavy hit.
yeah, you swing around, knock this fucking thing like fully down. The back wheels slide through the fire for a moment as you connect. It like falls to the ground. Is still currently trying to like get back up. It's now the closest one to you. It is trying to get back up. It reaches out. And Deb, you feel the tire pressure on one of the wheels goes up
Mm-hmm.
on the back right wheel as it seems to reach out and do something. Like you could see it just barely in the rearview mirror for a moment as the car spins.
Yeah.
And it reaches out and catches one of the tires. Okay. Now we'll go to to my boy Awkward. Having a good day still. Always a good day.
So the van is fortified, correct?
It is barred from entry.
Okay, perfect. So it sounds like I'm staying here. And there's 2 people on the outside, or is one of them down?
There's technically 3. There's one that got winged by Deb and fell to a knee. The other 2 are also down currently, and both of them are. I mean, it's hard to say equally hurt. You can't really see the one that the bumper hit because it's a little bit on the other side of the fire now. You can see the one that Cam filled with holes, and it's not doing well at all.
I guess I'll jinx that guy.
Okay. Do it to it.
Holy shit.
Good
Wow.
God.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, that's just got to be a double sixes, right? Yep, sure enough. If it wasn't, I was about to be confused. Okay, what do you do? What
Well, I hold 2.
you hold 2, but bear in mind it's on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will hold 1, but also I will inflict 1 harm. I guess like his
Oh.
blood just pours out faster.
Well, yeah, it gets so I like that it's always Cam that sees it. So I'm just I'm gonna keep doing that because it makes me happy. Awkward, you do it. Cam, you've got your gun trained on that one, right? It stumbles to its feet, takes a few steps forward, begins to run again. As it does, its foot catches on something. It falls to the ground, and as it does, its whole torso just shatters. And it lays still. So you watched it trip to death.
Huh.
Safety first, people.
Again, another tripping related casualty that Cam keeps seeing people trip on shit. It's weird.
So I guess the one that I hold, since it was targeting a now dead person, is just gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like
Eh,
it didn't
I
have
killed
much.
someone.
It
That's
didn't have yeah, you just killed it by tripping. You write
Pretty
that
good.
the one down in the
can't be mad
journal.
about that.
Okay. Back to the top. Because of the things you have done, you still kind of have the drop on these guys. I don't think they were expecting roll down the window and start shooting. So we'll go back to Deb.
I will look at Omaros, say, I like where your head's at. Jerk that wheel hard to the right when I say so. And essentially, at that moment, I basically stand on the gas and the brake at the same time, right? And so the move that I would like to institute here is essentially the opposite of what Omaros just did. I'm going to let the wheels spin, and then we're going to let the brakes go. And when he jerks the wheel, we'll spin around and hit that thing with the front of the car.
Yeah, hit it again.
Right. And sort of what I'm thinking, since we're doing this in concert, is that like I'm just going to help Omaros on Israel.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Your driver will still apply.
Okay. Would you like this to be kick some ass or act under pressure?
Do a help out here.
Okay.
Yeah. Since you're directly helping Amaros, do the thing.
Where the fuck is help out? Oh, there it is.
I can't
Yeah,
remember
there
where
it
it
is.
is on your
I
sheet.
got it.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, there's just it's spitting dirt and smoke and everything.
Okay. Amaros, moment of truth. Vehicular manslaughter. Let's go.
Let's go. What role would you like me to make?
I think this is still an act under pressure.
Act under pressure.
You are trying to
Okay.
kick its ass with a car, but that's a little bit more removed than just reaching out and kicking its ass.
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
I
plus-
think only
yeah.
Deb could maybe do an act under pressure with a car, or kick some ass with a car.
You get
I have the plus
one
right?
for my help. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a
Hell yeah.
12.
Good God. Yeah, you pull it around. As you whip past, you hit it with the front, and then one of the wheels goes over with a thud.
I let out a whoop and I say, "It's my first time driving."
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, Cam, 2 down, 1 to go. It's the one over in the tree line that Deb winged on the front. It has gotten to its feet and is starting to run. it's probably about 4 or 5 inches taller than the other two, a lot broader as well.
Having emptied the magazine on the assault rifle, however, I will scooch to the other middle seat so that I can get to the side that it's on. I will drag the shotgun and I will just wait, and pull.
Hold on. -3.
-3.
And now all of my trap cards against you. Yes! Yes! Yeah, you wait, you shoot. As you shoot, it dips low, and what would have been a headshot goes just a little high
Yeah.
as it gets close. The what I'm going to have it do, actually, at this point, I think this thing is running a lot faster, and like there's a beat where you're grabbing a bead, and Harlow and Awkward are kind of like waiting because they're like, okay, shot. There's a miss as it continues to run forward, and as it gets close, reels a hand back, slams its hand into and through the window. Though all of you see as it hits the window shatters, but it's a really fucking weird effect because you see its hand go through the window and hit something else just inside the window. Like
So
it's
cool.
almost like a double window where it like hits the first one that shatters and then just rebounds off something. And that would be the warding that went off.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
As its hand rebounds off, it reels back for a second, like just as basically the force that it put in sort of recoils back through its arm, like shaking it for a second as it stumbles back a few steps. Now, Awkward and Harlow are free to do stuff.
Go ahead, Harley.
Harlow, your warden seemed to do a treat. Couldn't save the window,
Yay.
though.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you describe the direction everything is again?
Yeah, everything is to there's one that's dead in front. There's one
Mhm.
that's dead to the right. The car has
Mhm.
now spun around so it's facing forward again. This would be a little bit front and left of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the one guy left, right?
Yep, that's the only one left. The other two are down.
Sweet. Can I
This
try
is
to
also the
inflict
biggest
harm with
one.
magic?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll draw from my pocket a tiny jar, and I will ignite the contents with a match and then hurl it out through the broken window.
Mhm.
God, alchemist fire.
I was gonna say, I love that this is not actually magic. This is just a Molotov cocktail.
It is
magical.
actually real
fire
magic,
spell.
but it's very throwable.
It's real magic. It's called combustion, guys.
It's real magic. It's called 100 proof vodka.
Yeah, you throw this out as its robes just ignite.
Incredible.
It is currently on fire, though it's gotten to its feet and looks like it is readying itself to throw itself at the van again.
Well, that
Awkward,
sounds
you're
like
up.
a perfect time for Jinx.
Yeah,
For some tripping hijinks. Okay, that's okay.
close.
Yeah, if it is attempting to throw itself at the vehicle, then I would like to interfere with what a monster minion or bystander is trying to do.
Okay. Yeah, it reels back and is going. It looks like it's going to just try to just start wailing on the sides. It can't get a hand through either of the windows. It just hauls off and looks like it's about to kick the side of the van. As it does, though, again, no damage on this one, but it just trips. its back foot gets caught on something and it stumbles to the ground. Okay. That will be it. Will go then back to Deb and Amaros in the front. It is to your left, and actually it is Deb, it's a little bit behind where you and I, because it's on the door now.
Adam, after you, sir.
Driver side or passenger side door?
Driver side.
Oh,
That'd be
I'm
the,
just
yeah, the left side.
I'm gonna lean out the door with my rifle and try and shoot it.
Okay. Kick some ass.
Do I get the +1 for kind of driving?
You're driving. Look, when Deb's behind the
In
wheel,
tandem,
Deb has
yeah.
superpowers. Yeah. Fucking hey. Okay. How much harm?
Yeah, that is 2 harm.
Yeah. You line your shot up real careful as it is making a nice target for you now that it's on fire. You level off, 1 bullet through the head as it leans forward to kick your van again. It passes through the cloak. The top of the cloak the thing inside just seems to evaporate.
Mhm.
And it slumps backwards bonelessly to the ground.
Hell yeah.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah, I'd slide back into the driver's seat, and just say, did everybody else count 3?"
I think so.
So I think we're safe. Do I have anything? I do not have anything. Oh, I do have something banked. Well, it's other people's turn, so I'll hold on to that.
I assume the van has stopped, if only for the moment.
That's correct.
Okay. What's everyone doing? A lot of shit just popped off. That was probably about, 15 seconds of action there for a moment.
Reload.
Yeah.
I reload.
Are there their like robes are still here? They seem to have like dusted, but their robes are still here.
Kinda, yeah. Like, well, you realize just maybe the heads have dusted,
Oh,
but only on that
crazy.
one. That one over there looks like it just fell in 2 pieces. And now that you're looking out to like arch your neck around to look on the other side of the fire, the one that you ran over looks like it might be in roughly same condition, kind of in 2 pieces.
I look at Deb and say, "That was fun."
And effective.
Cryptid sighting? Well, I guess. Where's my feature that if I look at it, I
Uh-huh.
can tell what it is? The broadsword.
Yeah. Um it is both a natural and unnatural. Well, sorry, it is both a person and an unnatural creature.
Okay, fair.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I see a new type of creature, I may immediately ask and investigate a mystery question.
Yeah, okay. Do it.
What sort of creature is it?
Uh you kind of like crane your head out to look down at it, right? Because it's right in front of you now. Easier now that the window is shattered out. You crane your head forward, look down, and for a brief moment, your eyes go a little fuzzy, and you see kind of a double image of a person that looks like a larger man in flannel, and this robed figure at the same time.
What is the robed figure as I'm looking at it?
You would have to say it is a human that has been turned into something else. What that is unclear. I guess if I had to name it, you would call it a thrall, right? To put it into terms that like have some cultural context to them.
Okay.
A thrall would be what I would use.
Okay. So a dominating force for submission.
Yes, has
Okay.
done that to this human,
Okay.
and this is the result.
Wait, no, hold on. Sorry. Okay. So the question is, what sort of creature is it?
Yeah.
So are you answering? we,
The robed figure on the ground is a human and is a thrall.
okay.
That is the kind of creature that it is.
Okay.
It is an enthralled human.
I'll state that these are. Looks like these are just people that have been controlled, but regular people.
Perhaps those who have disappeared?
Maybe. I don't know how we determine that.
Hmm, probably unlikely. Or, if they're not them, some other unfortunate being. We're going to take a closer
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I'm gonna hop out real quick, make sure everything is safe, and then we can investigate. I don't imagine they were out here just for the fun of it. They were probably doing something, right?
Or with the bonfire. Speaking of which, I'm also checking if the car's on fire. Sorry.
So both of you get out of the car, right?
Yes, I
Uh,
will
could
bring my
I-
assault rifle freshly loaded.
Could I use this moment to use my one hold of read a bad situation
sure.
to ask, are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
At the moment, no.
Great.
Yeah, that's I know
The-
normally it's
the
like
be-
oh, but they're secret. Yeah, no.
Best answer we could have got
Yeah.
under the circumstances.
Okay. Uh, you all watch as Cam and Amaros hop out. From the perspective of those of you inside, they disappear. Cam and Amaros, suddenly you are in a clearing. It looks like similar to one of those clearings you were in earlier today. You turn and see that the van is, but the van is like almost wedged into this clearing, right? Like it's almost too big for this clearing, but it's here. And the van appears to be empty to Cam and Amaros as you get out. From those inside, Cam and Amaros have disappeared.
Uh-oh.
I look to Cam and say, keep your wits about you.
I'm
Uh,
guessing that this is just like when we were in the parking lot and getting in and out of the car made you see something different. Grab a hold of the car. I'm gonna see if I can find a face on these fellas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amaros, you put a hand on the car. Everything is nighttime. They are creatures of glass and robe. Cam, you go walking over. We'll just go in order the ones you check out. Two of them are younger. They are dressed in just jeans and tennis shoes and t-shirts. They are both female. They are pretty young, like you'd guess probably students. Both are blonde-haired and blue-eyed. One of them is the one that you shot with the assault rifle, and the other one is the one that was hit by the car. That's on the other side of now. What is clearly not a bonfire is just a little like trash fire.
I will make sure I snap a picture of each of them for identification later.
And the big one is you have to kind of round the corner to the other side of the van to see him. He is a much larger, probably 6'2" or 6'3" man, with darker skin, silver hair. He's built like somebody who probably does manual labor, and he is dressed in a flannel, jeans, and some boots. This is the one that there's a bullet hole in the shoulder and a single clean bullet through the side of its head.
I will get a picture of that face as well.
Mhm.
Omaros, it seems like whatever glamour is on the van is what keeps us in one realm or the other.
Omaros, with your
Omaro-
hand on the van, you
Omaros,
don't hear Cam.
I was going to say, I'm assuming I do not
Yeah.
see Omaros since he is still
Yep.
holding onto the car.
Uh-huh.
Do I see Cam but don't hear him?
Nope. You don't see or hear Cam.
Okay.
They
Well,
have
I think-
functionally disappeared.
Okay, I think if like I touch it, they disappear, knowing that we're out here. Yeah, I'd like after a while just take my hand off of it. Oh, there you are.
Oh, hey, you're back. Good. Yeah, these are definitely people. I got some pictures. Hopefully, those will last long enough for us to try to identify these poor folks, let their families know. I guess I sure. Hey, can you ask Awkward to come out here? Like, put your hand on there
Yes.
so he can see you, and then
Yeah, hey, just to clarify, right now I'm looking at where those things were, and I'm seeing. I'm asking him and also the keeper to know: am I seeing human beings, or am I seeing the rainbow cloaks?
When you are touching the van, you see the rainbow cloak. When you are not touching the van, you see humans dressed in regular attire.
Hmm.
Or in their proper attire, I should say. Their wounds, obviously, when you're looking at them as humans, are more consistent with the, actual damage. Whereas when they are in and stained glass form, two of them look like they've been like bisected down the middle, and one of them, the cloak is basically laying flat with nothing inside.
When they were running at us, did any of us get a glance of them like this?
I don't think so.
Be good to know.
No, yeah, that's why I want to check with Awkward.
Be right back. I disappear and tell as I enter the vehicle and tell Awkward that Cam wants to talk to him outside the van. I warn him about how it changes and just how strange it is.
I know I said it, but I don't know if I actually have handcuffs on.
Yeah, if you're still handcuffed
yeah,
to the
no.
Okay,
the
I'll come
shit
out handcuffed
handle.
Yeah.
first and hold them up to him.
Okay, Awkward. You exit out. You disconnect from the car, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not daytime. Everybody sees Awkward take a couple steps out. You're just now standing in front of a bonfire. It's very hot.
Okay.
It's still nighttime for you. You could see everybody in the car.
Probably a nothing burger, but can I use my sight to see if there's anything fun?
Yeah. What does it do again?
No.
Yeah, I think what the site will give you is that there are no like residual spirit or, like something you would associate with the recently dead about these humans. or these, you don't think of them as humans yet, right? These stained glass figures upon the ground.
All right, I definitely will be looking around as my hands are outstretched towards Cam.
Yeah.
Cam comes
Cam
out.
and Amaros, you don't see Awkward.
What?
Like Awkward never got out of the van, or as either of you know. Or if you were touching it, you see Awkward move past you and then disappear from your perspective.
You you asked him to come out, right?
I assumed I was in the van telling Awkward to come
Yeah,
out.
you got back into the van, so
R-
you watched Awkward hop out.
Yeah. And as far as I
Again.
can see, Awkward is just walking around out
Yeah,
there.
just walking around out there.
Yeah. Do you like
Well,
check
that's
in the vehicle,
that's-
Cam, to
that's strange. When I don't see Cam walking around out there. When you were out there, Amaros, I didn't see you walking around out there. Why do I see Awkward walking around out there?
Well, that is strange.
Yeah,
I
at
step
some
out of the
point, I will
vehicle.
put my hand back on the vehicle
Uh-huh.
because I'm still
Yeah.
waiting. Like
You
Awkward,
as
get oh
as you do that, you're
what?
like a foot away from Awkward.
Oh. I suspect it's still got a hold on you then.
Okay, so I went out. It's dark. I saw a bonfire. Do I see anybody else?
No, just these weird cloaked figures seem to be made of like stained glass.
And then
Laying
do
on the
I still
ground.
see the van?
Yeah, you see the van and everybody who's in it.
Okay.
So you see Cam like pop into being as Cam touches the van and is like a foot away from you, right? So suddenly is not there and then is there.
What the fuck? I'm gonna lean out of the car and then
Uh-huh.
see what I can see.
Yeah, you lean out, you're still touching the van, still nighttime.
Yeah, and I'll get out.
Yeah. The second your hand leaves as both of your feet hit the ground, daytime.
I will also take my hand off and just say I was gonna ask Awkward to see if he could feel anything from these bodies. Do you think you can do that? I'm guessing whatever hold that thing has on him, he can't see this world.
I could try.
That's all I'm asking.
I can summon a creature into the world. I want to try to summon one of their ghosts.
What?
Okay, you get a +1 forward because of Occam's broadsword. To I guess summon their ghosts.
Yeah. So I can talk with them.
Mm-hmm. So, in it not working, you're about to get a really important piece of information, Hard, because you reach out to, like, you invoke its essence. You do not know its name, but you can call out to it for its like signifying traits, right? To try to
Mhm.
reach across and bring some echo or fragment of the thing back to talk to it. And as you do that, you feel like your awareness kind of as that sort of like threading passes over where that should be, and it isn't. And then as you kind of look at that further, I'm gonna give you it's a piece of information I don't know if you would have found a different way, but because it is this, I'm gonna hand it to you. You not only are these things dead, not only have they been like enthralled, enchanted, uh there is something profoundly wrong with them now that you have opened yourself up to them magically, right? Now that you've established a sympathetic bond with them. And the thing that is missing is they have, in as far as you can tell, relinquished their name. And when I say name, I mean capital name,
Hmm.
like their actual true name. They are whatever they are. They're not a person that you could reach out to talk to anymore, right? They're something else.
Yeah.
And there's some mythology for what that kind of thing is, but that's a lot of where stories end, right? Is
Yeah.
the thing gets it taken away, and then so you kind of have that sickening sort of feeling sweep over you as you try to establish a sympathetic bond with the remnants of this person.
All right. I'll look at Cam and say, these are empty vessels. That, I mean, they are human, but like I said, back at your place, I think, people are giving away their name, their identity in a spiritual sense, and are becoming these I'm the cult members that Awkward saw in his vision. Something is controlling them, making them give something up, or else they're giving something up and then being controlled. That's probably it. But I don't know right now how to find where they're being controlled from.
Okay. I just wanted to see if there was anything left of them, but it sounds like you're saying there's not really anything left of these people other than their tail. So
Yeah, sold their soul to the devil, traded their name to the Fae, whatever you want to call it. They're less than people now.
yep. Well, somebody out there at some point loved them. Maybe somebody might
Yeah,
still be
this is
looking.
sad. This is really awful, actually. We
Yeah,
killed
but
them.
well, we didn't. But wait, what?
I mean, they're
This
like,
is
I
Ted
mean,
asking Max what Max said. Cause
oh yeah. We killed them.
oh, I
Like,
don't know.
obviously, there was choices involved that got them to this place, but with this, I'm gonna be sick. This is the first like real human being that I've seen dead.
Yeah, I mean, might be easier. You go on back on into the van.
Thanks.
While this has been going on, I think Deb, not participating in the conversation at all, has just gotten out of the car, opened the back of the van, got out the jack and the spare tire,
Yeah.
and is working on changing that flat tire.
Yeah, Deb, you have the weirdest fucking moment of when you touch the tire to take it off, right? Then it becomes night. Then you
Mhm.
put the new tire back on, and the second it's in place and you're touching it, it suddenly
Yeah.
flickers to to nighttime again.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
and when when the tires finally changed, I looked down at my watch, and I'm like, well, this time don't count because of the whole day night thing. I'm sure I would have been faster otherwise. Um,
As you check your watch, Deb, you realize that as far as you're aware, you have been traveling through this forest for about 15 minutes.
according to my watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
when you're on the daytime side, right?
Right. Right.
Nighttime, I
Uh,
mean, I guess it says the same. Nighttime, it
Yeah.
just doesn't seem to work. Daytime, as it starts to work again, you're like, oh, huh.
Right. I'll just shrug. Um, I'll look at I'll look over at Cam and say, "Hey, are we interested at all in preserving these bodies for any families that might want to claim them?"
I took pictures. I got pictures of their faces. Um, I'm thinking the bodies will be here in the real world once we wrap up whatever we're doing in that world. So
Well, that's what I'm asking, and as I'm putting the jack away and throwing the tire into the back of the van, right? I pat something, and then I realize, oh yeah, because of the way the rules work, he can't see what I'm patting, and I pull out a shovel and a big bag of lye.
Does it just appear from nowhere?
Yeah.
oh no, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we need to worry about it right now.
All right. Well, we should do something because if we leave them out like this, critters are going to get them. Won't be the first grave I dug.
Yeah, but we ain't got time for digging graves. Is what I'm thinking. Is what I'm getting at. I know I hate to leave them. Critters will get to them before we get back to them, I'm sure. But well, from what Harlow said, it's
Well, this won't
sounds like
stop.
there ain't nothing left of the people, and the people who
Yeah.
would be looking for them, they don't even know that they're gone. They don't even
Yeah.
know they ever was. So
All right. Well, help me put them in a pile.
drag
And
them together.
yeah, and this won't stop any flying things, and I'll just take the bag of lye and like pour a big circle of lye around the bodies. I don't think anything's gonna want to crawl through that.
That's honestly incredibly clever, actually. that would actually do a lot. Nice. Okay. Yeah. By the way, Awkward, you're still just wandering around in the dark. Like you see people appearing, disappearing, like a whole bunch.
Right?
Yeah, like as you're standing there, they're having conversations where they're blipping in and out of reality. Like mid conversation. Yeah, while Deb is doing the prep, what does everybody do in this clearing?
I'm gonna sort of, course, be assisting Deb with the tire,
Yeah.
considering I helped do it.
I want to put
I
out
got
this
news
fire.
for you, Omeros. You can watch Deb change the tire, but if you think you're assisting Deb changing a tire, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah, my assistance is whatever you want,
Right,
and you're
right,
like, if you're
okay,
like,
great, got
yeah,
it.
you could talk to me while I change
Oh,
the
yeah.
tire. Yeah,
Actually, you know what? I'll tell you to time me. We'll go back. I'll be like,
Yeah,
watch
okay.
this, Omeros, time me.
I get out
and-
Yeah.
a watch.
Yeah, and you have to break the bad news that it's like 45 seconds off of what I expected.
Yeah, I call time before you're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which fire are you trying to put out, Harlow?
The can I see the bonfire where I'm at?
You can go to like basically with your foot on the front of the car, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you could see it.
Okay.
You're actually parked really maybe a little too close to it, but
Okay. I'll
it's
sit
not
on the
bad.
hood of the car and I'll try to douse the fire
Okay.
magically.
Yeah.
Draw out another one of these little jars and strike its match as well. Do-do-do-do.
Interesting. I do an effect, right?
Yeah, I got a glitch.
Hmm. Let's see. What would be a fun? Okay. I like unwelcome attention. As you are sitting, you reach your hands out, and invoke this magic. And you the fire goes out as the clearing suddenly goes from very bright in the center to dark and lit by the embers, the moon, surrounding lanterns that light the trees surrounding. Awkward. You feel a prickling, that kind of sensation wrapping around your skull. And in your ear you hear a feminine voice says, "Who did that?"
Um, which part specific?
Who did that?
Kind of a complicated answer, isn't it?
You take one harm.
Ah, bitch.
Who did that?
All right, I'll answer honestly.
What do you say?
I'm actually a little confused on what he means by that, or she means by that.
You gonna ask a question?
I did. She didn't like the answer.
Yeah. Yeah, so essentially the fire went out, right? Harlow magically put the fire
Oh
out,
yeah, yeah.
and then this immediately happened.
Ah, fuck. I don't know. Narc on Harlow. Why? What are you gonna do to him?
You take one harm.
Fuck! It was Harlow. Fine.
You feel the presence fade, and you hear a slight laughter as the thing, as it recedes, says, "Sneaky, sneaky." And your nose is bleeding. You like fall into your knees. Harlow is sitting on the hood, having doused the fire out. And as that happens, you see the embers, the like final embers. A wind picks up from behind you, Harlow, blowing them forward. And as they blow forward, they make first it just looks like kind of a row, and then it's another, and then you realize it's a semblance of a path out of the clearing that terminates at the edge of the forest in front of you, made of these embers that have fallen on the grass.
I don't take my eyes off of them, but I hit my fist against the hood of the car, and I call out for Cam and ask if she can see that.
I'm gonna come out to Carlo to get back in the van.
Yeah,
Wait, was Harlow not touching the car when all that happened? I thought
Harlow
Harlow had
is
gotten.
touching the car.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought Harlow
Yeah.
had gotten back in the van.
Yeah, but I'm also banging on the car to try to get
Yeah.
everybody's attention.
Ooh, that's okay. If we're not touching the car, can we hear it when Harlow bangs on the car?
Can't hear it, but you could feel it. But you'd have to be touching the car. You can kind of feel, actually, because of the bang and the way sound works, I think I'm just because I like it because it's weird. I think you can
Thank
kind
you.
of feel a weird like like a weird thrum in the ground for a second, and you can actually see the van move. So you could see the like as the pounding is happening, the front wheels just dip slightly.
Well, I mean, as soon as Deb had put the lime around the bodies anyway, Cam was gonna
Yep.
head back to the car. So, what's going on? What?
Can you see that path of embers? Can you see that?
Or can?
Okay. I think that's the direction to go.
Okay.
I think it's going to
Think-
take us closer to whatever it is we're trying to find. I also
Well,
think that it
yeah.
knows that we'd be there.
Yeah. Do we think it's worth trying? I mean, we know that there were more of these fires in our world. Think maybe there's more here. Maybe we should put those out first. Think maybe that whatever this is drawing strength from them.
I think that it's making use of them as bodies. But I don't think that. I think we would be better serving our time trying to cut off the head of the snake rather than all of its little tiny legs. He shakes his head.
Yeah, as you all get back into the van, you can see the all of you can see the ember path ahead.
I think that's a good idea, Harlow. The path, looking at it, heads northward.
Yep.
Providence, indeed.
Walking right through the front door.
If we step out of the vehicle, we don't see the ember path.
Correct. And
Okay.
the fire is actually still on that side. Like it's a
But-
little trash fire, but it's still lit.
But Awkward sees it just fine.
Well, yeah, awkward is always in nighttime,
Right.
basically.
So Awkward has to lead us because they would be the only one that could walk us there, which we have to
Yeah,
do.
By the time
correct?
we get out of the car, we cannot both touch the car and travel the path. So Awkward, you're up front.
Yay!
Oh, I thought we were going to try to drive the car on the path.
I didn't think it was drivable.
It's unclear at the moment.
I thought it was worth trying.
It looks
Yeah,
like
sure.
it stops, but
Hey, give it a shot if the tire's on.
Deb, do you take it forward?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you are as you are traveling, when you pass across the fire and enter onto where the embers, what was a solid wall of trees in front of you becomes the continuation of a path, of a road that you all see as you basically cross over the threshold of the fire.
Cool. Sorry.
For what?
This is just awesome, and I know Awkward doesn't want to be here very badly.
Those are both true things.
Yeah. I don't think they are, but
As the car,
An awesome battle world where we're all just waiting to get sucked in and lose ourselves, and everybody who ever loved us is gonna forget us. But you know what? Oh shit! Was all of that out loud?
Was what out loud, Cam?
Cam, why'd you join the agency? How'd you even like hear about it?
I know this is in my notes. I actually did come up with this, and I cannot remember it, so I'm scrolling through my messages to Cody.
Sorry.
I'm also scrolling.
I'm also scrolling.
Blah, 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 blah. That's about the agency. Oh, I don't actually say. Like, I just was hired
Yeah,
by
I
them.
don't- I think the most you said was that, you know, you grew up fairly poor.
No, nothing actually that says why I got started. Okay.
Like, I gotta improv.
Definitely believe in the mission that I have. Okay. Well, you know what? There's all kinds of weird shit out in the hills of Appalachia. So it's very likely that Cam experienced something, but not in the like fascinating way. Just sort of a yeah, that was some weird shit that happened, and ended up getting recruited as someone who could deal with it, and has just been in ever since.
They saw the value you could bring to them.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I've actually been doing this for a long time. It's just, you know, DFA's got a good mission: keep people safe, keep people protected. I'm just, you know, we usually have a couple more ideas what we're actually dealing with, but that's usually the intel folks get me that stuff. Unfortunately, with all the budget cuts, we ain't got as much time to do some of that. Beeman Bay is actually the first time, well, not the first time, the longest running official mission of hunting I've had in a while. I've hunted a few things here and there. I mean, not here and there. I've hunted a few things at each of my posts, and usually once I've done that, they move me somewhere else. But they've stuck me here for a while.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We ain't exactly got a budget, and then you know the FBC they're trying to move in, so
What?
I don't know, if I wasn't actually
What's
like
that?
still in touch with them, I would think that maybe they had just forgotten about me. But like, I mean, I call them so they know I exist. They still pay me, so like, I mean, someone knows I'm here.
Of course, the one knows you're here. Gam, you're important for what's to come. It can't happen without you.
Yeah, in retrospect, putting that part in my report about you may not have been the best thing I ever did for my career, but I kind of don't really give a shit about my career as long as, people are being kept safe. So, anyway, I'm not saying we shouldn't go. This just not really my flavor. Awesome. That's all.
So how was our journey following the embers coming?
Yeah, you pass the tree line, continuing on dark. As the conversation fades into the silence that's only broken up by the bouncing and jostling of the of the Sienna minivan. Uh, you all hear a familiar voice that you have heard at least once before, in the case of Awkward, several times before, that says, "So I cannot see you, and I cannot hear you, nor feel you. Interesting. What did you get in return?"
That's to me.
Nope.
Oh.
Not really sure who it's to, other than it. The question is asked, enters out into the silence. It's unclear if it requires an answer or if it's like just an open. But you all very clearly hear it.
Y'all think there's a point answering if they're saying they can't hear us anyway?
I would be careful engaging. I think the moment you respond with intention, it will hear you.
I start thinking of the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man.
Mhm. Yeah. As you all handle that in your own various ways, including imagining the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man,
Yeah,
that is where we.
Omeros. I'm not even sure I could answer with intention because I don't know what they're talking about. Traded for what? They asked what we got in return.
Oh,
Might be asking one of us.
it's asking, and if your response is intended for it, that is your intention, whether you know the answer or not.
Oh, okay.
Can I?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that this is a great idea, but I think that it's still a smart plan. Well, it's
Love
not
it.
really fun. It's not really fun.
Mm.
I want to try to ward the van against this creature.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you successfully complete the spell. All of the outside flickers for just a moment, like it becomes day. Suddenly, Deb, you almost like slam into a tree,
All
right?
flashbanged.
Yeah, as it's just as you're like, Deb almost runs into a tree. It's nighttime again. Everything's fine. You're on a path.
Sorry.
And Harlow, only you see this as you look out to your left. A There's a brief moment where you're looking off into the distance, and all of the lights align for just a moment in these rows and rows of lights and rows of trees to say a sentence that appears kind of just in horizontal for a moment, word by word. And it says, "There you are."
I
And
wave.
that is where we'll end the session.
Crazy.